In a tunesbyblog.com.
Papi, why you coming from your breathing like that?
My daughter. Hey, my daughter, yeah. The old people can say that curiosity kill a cow. What your own problem again?
Papi, I really don't have problem. But the way you breathing, sir, it's like you running somewhere.
My daughter? Ha, yaka. If I give you the little G's, you yourself will be running to the same place I'm running. So you just hold it there.
Papi, Papi, play on me now, lay on me. You know I your daughter too now.
My daughter, guess what? I had to run away from Wego. Ha, yaka. Tuesday and Thursday, they got one show in town they call it Logan's Hour. Man, that boy can talk the thing that are happening in Indiana. Even when you steal, even you doing wrong thing, the boy will talk it. You doing the right thing, the boy will praise you.
For real, Papi? No, that kind of thing that we want here all time, yeah.
My daughter, I'm telling you, let me tell you now. Logan's Hour come on every Tuesday and Thursday, 6 o'clock p.m. And when you want to watch Logan Hour, you gotta be on time, or else you will watch the show after the show. But guess what?
What, Papi?
Just go to Facebook and subscribe to Logan Hour. You go to YouTube, you subscribe to Logan Hour. Anytime Logan Hour coming on, you will get notification. That the notification made me running at the door, my daughter, because I won't be laying back in my living room, man, and get ready to call on that show.
Papi, thank you so much for the information. But see Tommy walking, coming it out. I don't know if I ate he looking at too. Oh, Tommy! Tommy!
Oh, what's that? What you calling my name like that for? What you calling my name like that for? Take your time and you get. I'm watching my Looking Hour. Don't gotta distract me, yo. Wait now. If you ain't got what to do right now, we're already enjoying ourselves. You better get involved with the fries, girl. Tommy!
In a tunesbyblog.com.
Papi, why you coming from your breathing like that?
My daughter. Hey, my daughter, yeah. The old people can say that curiosity kill a cow. What your own problem again?
Papi, I really don't have problem. But the way you breathing, sir, it's like you running somewhere.
My daughter? Ha, yaka. If I give you the little G's, you yourself will be running to the same place I'm running. So you just hold it there.
Papi, Papi, play on me now, lay on me. You know I your daughter too now.
My daughter, guess what? I had to run away from Wego. Ha, yaka. Tuesday and Thursday, they got one show in town they call it Logan's Hour. Man, that boy can talk the thing that are happening in Indiana. Even when you steal, even you doing wrong thing, the boy will talk it. You doing the right thing, the boy will praise you.
For real, Papi? No, that kind of thing that we want here all time, yeah.
My daughter, I'm telling you, let me tell you now. Logan's Hour come on every Tuesday and Thursday, 6 o'clock p.m. And when you want to watch Logan Hour, you gotta be on time, or else you will watch the show after the show. But guess what?
What, Papi?
Just go to Facebook and subscribe to Logan Hour. You go to YouTube, you subscribe to Logan Hour. Anytime Logan Hour coming on, you will get notification. That the notification made me running at the door, my daughter, because I won't be laying back in my living room, man, and get ready to call on that show.
Papi, Thank you so much for the information. But I see Tommy walking, coming it out. I don't know if I he looking at too. Oh, Tommy! Tommy!
Oh, what's that? What you calling my name like that for? What you calling my name like that for? Take your time and you get. I'm watching my looking hour. Don't got distract me, yo. Wait now. If you ain't got what to do right now, we're already enjoying ourselves. You better get involved with the fries, girl. Tommy, so today, Papi was telling me that something? I'm going to look for looking hour, yeah. Papi, thank you.
All right, all right. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, depending on which part of the world you are following us today. Welcome again to another great edition of the Logan's Hour. Today, we are here again to discuss some very sensitive issues. So, those of you following us for the first time, I want to say thank you. And those of you who always follow us, we want to say thank you for always joining Logan's Hour. I know today some of you are so confused and like, what the guy is today. All right, so we are following you from one of our other studios, we trying to test the other studio to see if everything works well. So we want to say thank you again for joining us. So we use this as a tradition. All right, so this is a test from the other studio. So thank you for joining us, and we are grateful to be here today. For to all of you who just joined us for the first time, I want to say thank you for joining us, and those of you who will join us shortly. Today, you can see that what we're going to be discussing right there. We're going to be uncovering the truth. Mr. Robert C. Carey, he's going to be our guest on today's edition of the Logan's Hour. So don't stay away. Join us today for a very great discussion. Very fascinating, and we will give the background of today's program before we can go through. But before we can even go and talk about anything else, let's first recognize all of those who were born in the month of September. We want to say to all of our brothers and sisters who were born in September, we want to say happy birthday, happy belated birthday, happy pre-birthday, whatever you find yourself. And to those of you who celebrating your wedding anniversary in this month, we want to say happy anniversary to you as well. And to those of you who are bereaved, we want to say our condolences. So there are so many things to discuss today. And I got my friend brother who's following me, Stephen Carter. We're born the same day, August 8th. And he's following right now. I want to say, Stephen, welcome again to the Logan's Hour. And don't forget, you think so? My brother was at this you can say, yeah, you bugger so the flesh are growing your jobs. That's why a whistle can come on good. But Stephen, anyway, you say that you're being it. All right. So to all of you following us, we want to say thank you again for following us. And today is we have a lot of things to discuss, a whole lot of things to discuss. As I'm flipping pages here, there's this issue here, but Mr. Carey will join us shortly. But before Mr. Carey joins us, we have other things to talk about. So let's dive into all the issues. Before we can go any further, we want to use this time to say All right. Okay. Thank you for that. Sorry for that. Yeah, it's getting heated. You know, the show ain't start yet. I receiving some messages, people calling me and saying, "Hey, listen, this is my question. This is my question." But listen, if you have a question, I would love for you to put your question in the comment section while the show is going on. All right, I will ask your question, but please. Okay, the person said they want a question to be in the comment section. Okay, I will ask your question. But if you have your question, you can put your question in the comment section, or if you want to call, we have a session where you can call 30 minutes to the end of the show. You will also be privileged to to call in. And today we will have with us the Secretary General of the Liberian Association of Indiana, Mr. Robert C. Carey. I think you saw the flyer going out there. Some of you who saw the flyer, and some of you who don't know what today's edition is all about. Today we're going to be discussing a court case that Robert Carey, the brother who you see on the screen, just few months ago sued the Liberian Association of Indiana, and there were multiple charges he sued on. And some of you who has been following, you know what the case is all about. So, in conclusion, the judge have ruled, and the judge decision against Mr. Carey. The judge said Mr. Carey lawsuit lacked standing. And when the judge said lack standing, it means that Carey didn't have the right to sue on behalf of the Liberian Association of Indiana because the association doesn't have members. That's the judge ruling. And two to that, the judge said that Mr. Carey failed to follow rules. So we will discuss that rule. That's the Indiana TR 23-1. Carey will also talk to all about that rule as well. So Mr. Carey claims were rejected by the judge. So defendant Parker and defendant George, they are clear of all wrongdoings. So Mr. Carey today will talk to all more about some of these things we are talking about. And Mr. Carey will also talk to us about the contradiction. Mr. Carey will talk to us about a contradiction in this ruling here, because there are some contradiction in this ruling. The judge, for example, some of the contradiction that we're speaking of here, the judge ruled that Robert C. Carey lacks standing to sue because the Association of Indiana doesn't have members. However, Mr. Carey is the current Secretary General of the association. So we're going to talk about that too, because those are contradictions that we saw within this case. But luckily for all, we have Mr. Carey, who will be here today as our guest. And just to make it clear to all of our listening audience here, we send an invitation as well to the president of the Liberian Association of Indiana, Mr. Julius Parker, and the former board chairperson, Mr. Inisha George. We extended an invitation to their both, because usually in these kind of cases, you want to send an invitation to the party who emerged victorious. So Mr. George and Mr. Parker won this case. So by parity of reasoning, we extend an invitation to them, letting them know that we would love to have an appearance with them, sit with them, and discuss the issues that has to do with this court case. But Mr. Parker responded to me as well, and Mr. Inisha George responded to me. And in their response, Mr. George said he have not perused the entire court documents, and he would have loved to appear, but he think it's not timely for him because he would love to have a clearer understanding as to the judge ruling, and he would have loved to have all of the informations at his fingertip for sure. So at this point, sorry, just a second. So at this point, he cannot appear because he won't be able to make a rational decisions as to on what grounds that this ruling indicating whatever that is in it. So we also extended our invitation to Mr. Parker, and Mr. Parker as well. Mr. Parker declined. Mr. Parker, in his response, he said that, Mr. Carey, the lawsuit are frivolous, and he said there are so many other things that he's thinking about right now, or so many other things that are more important to him. Yeah, so he would love to discuss things that are more important to him, and not to dwell in discussing these frivolous lawsuits that were brought against him by the Mr. Robert Carey. And he also made mention that the area, through her board of directors, have already communicated with the general public on the outcome of the lawsuit. So, moreover, Mr. Parker also referred me to the popular record. He said the lawsuit is a popular record. I can access it if I need more information concerning the lawsuit. But personally, there's nothing in there for him to discuss. There are more other important things that he want to discuss, and currently he's seeking justice for his son. And so we can say anything to that. We wishing all the best. And in my response to Mr. Parker, I also said the same. I said, thank you for getting back to me, sir. I completely understand your perspective on the lawsuit, and I respect your decision, your commitment to seeking justice for your son and preserving his legacy is truly inspiring. So I responded to Mr. Parker as well. And I also didn't respond to Mr. Initial Josh because I've been contemplating on his response, because Mr. Initial Josh, Mr. Initial Josh is one of the former editor of the Inquirer newspaper. And he responded to me, technically, it's not saying no, it's not saying yes. He just wants us to have a more time that he can peruse the document, and at appropriate time he will be able to come out. And he also made mention that the time conflicts with his work schedule, and two, he need to go over the nitty-gritty of the allegation to address adequately questions that may derive from the conversation. Okay, so, and he also made some revelation here that is a little confusing to me. He said it may interest you to note that since related to the suits were largely handled by the administration and legal counsel, because I'm no longer the chair of the board, the verdict from the court did not come to me. So this was addressed by the administration. So he's saying that the verdict from the court was with the administration. And at the time I reached out to him, he never had anything yet to talk about. So now we have Mr. Robert C. Carey, who we extended the invitation to as well, because it was important to hear from those who won the case before going back to hear from the person who lost the case. But because there were no form of communication, we communicated, and both said they have some other stuff to do. So we decided to extend an invitation to Mr. Robert C. Carey. And when we extended the invitation to Mr. Robert C. Carey, he graciously accepted. So today we will have with us Mr. Robert C. Carey in our studio, and he will be talking about this court case specifically. And we have a few questions to ask Mr. Carey, and those questions will be very pointed. And today, I don't know, but Mr. Carey, I think you want to come very prepared to be on today's editions of the Logan's Hour, because I'm going to put you in hot seat. And today there will be no compromising. There will be no too much friendship as we usually do. Today I'm going to hit the rock on head as needed, because I want to know some things, and you will also be at fault in some of what I have to discuss here today. So leaving no stone untouched. So Mr. Carey, today, if you come in here, come prepared, because we have so many things to talk about, and I can rest assure you I'm going to calm down high as well, and you should be prepared to address some of these concerns. So while Mr. Carey coming, I have received some questions. Some of you who sending your private and your personal questions to me, I would love to address some of your questions, but that will be up to Mr. Carey to to answer your question. So Mr. Carey will be our guest here today, but we have the right to ask the question. And Mr. Carey also have the right to answer the question the way he feels please. So another thing you have to take into serious consideration, I ain't going to squeeze into the wall to force him to answer any question. Whatever question he feels he cannot answer, he would leave it out. But we are going to be vote of attacks, vote of personal thing here. And we're just going to go straight today. Will be all about this lawsuit that was filed by Mr. Carey. And we all know the background of this lawsuit. So we're going to be dealing specifically with this lawsuit that was filed by Mr. Robert C. Carey against the president of the Liberian Association of Indiana and the former board chairperson, Mr. Inisha George. So just we have here, they say join us for a night full of fun at the St. Francis Alumni Association of the Diaspora Annual Convention. The week activities are as follow. Friday, October 18, 2024, meet and greet. Saturday, October 19, 2024, meeting, 10 a.m. Saturday, October 19, 2024, convention, 7 p.m. All event will take place at the address below. 6213 La Paz Trail, Indianapolis, Indiana, 46268. The proceeds from the convention will go toward helping students at the St. Francis High School campus. Ticket will be sold at the entrance, $20 for regular and $25 per patron. Your presence will be anticipated, and we look forward to seeing you. Thank you. This is from, I think, the president or someone of the same, Francis Farah, but her title is not here. So this is St. Francis asking you to attend their convention coming up. So go patronize. It's $20. It's just $20. Small money, like $20. All right. So we have Mr. Robert C. Carey is about to get rolling. We're going to know everything about this case here. We've been talking about it. And today is a very good day. It is a very good day. In how much you are counted alive, it means God hasn't forgot about you yet. So in how much you are here today, be grateful. Be grateful. Be like me. Hey, you see me? I get a Joe. I be like Joe. Every day I get a see daily. I say, God, thank you. Every day I have reason to give God glory because we all go, I'm nothing. Some of you, God have been so good to you. God have blessed you. You got everything. You got car. You got house of sleeping. You got your children healthy. You got your wife healthy. But you still complaining, God, why I get it one? Why I get it one? Why my friend get new shoe? I get old shoe. Be grateful. You say when you're grateful for the little, He's gonna bless you with more. So just a little passing there. So we are not preaching here today. So we have our dear brother and friend, Mr. Robert C. Carey. He's currently now right in our studio. So we're gonna go straight to it today. You know, we ain't gonna be around the bush already 6:21. So we're gonna get to Mr. Robert C. Carey quick and bring him on this. You know, I enjoy that new studio. That new studio look good. I enjoying it compared to the old studio. You know, the old studio. Some people see the old studio, they can feel that, oh, you coming to fight today. You see the new studio got a little pink on it, get all kind of little small color in. Then when you load through the window there, you can see all the things that behind me where I'm sitting right now. So y'all be there. Y'all be all looking it. All right. So ladies and gentlemen, just following all, you are on the Logan's Hour and we are back to get straight to it. We're going to take our short, quick intro and we're going to bring you Mr. Robert C. Carey. And tomorrow, don't forget, tomorrow is TGIF. Thank God it's fabulous. So let's take this quick one. We'll come back. The person you're going to see on the screen, it'll be no one else but Mr. Robert C. Carey. All right, Mr. Carey, how are you today?
I'm doing great, Mr. Logan. It's been a long time. I think it's been more than a year since I appeared on the Logan's Hour. And I love the new studio, man. I love the lights, the background. It's
Yeah.
all looking good.
And this studio look a little more peaceful. So anybody see me in the studio, just know that I ain't off for no war. I just gonna be peaceful. You can step on my toes. I ain't gonna do nothing. American man said nothing. But what's up, my man? You looking sharp. After the kids said let your sabu, you put more grease on it. What's going on?
Man, I just sitting in my little rescue corner,
You got rescue.
observing the activity that's going on in Liberia, for the other activities, the discussion, training issues in Liberia. I've
Okay.
been quiet in the community, Liberian community in Indiana for I think about a year now since this whole rigmarole started, September of last year.
Wow. September of last year. From September to September, that's 1 year.
Yeah.
Wow. So again, we want to say to those of you who following us for the first time, we want to say welcome to the Logan's Hour. Those of you who would love to ask questions, we have the comment section. You can put your question in there, or you can also wait 30 minutes at the end of the show. You can post your question because I saw today in the group chat, Mr. Saleh, Mr. Joseph Saleh Senior, he would love to ask question, and Mr. Anthony Givler also suggested that we should have adequate time for questioning. And Mr. Ernest Samuel also came out. He said, well, if the time will not be enough, we should take another whole day to open a question session. So I mean, a lot of people have interest into this discussion. So Mr. Carey, I hope you are here prepared because I'm going to push you so hard. I'm going to put you in a hot seat and we're going to have these discussions because as far as I'm concerned, this is no more in the middleweight of the court. So it means we can discuss the nitty gritty of this entire case that were filed against the president and the former board chairperson. So, Mr. Carey, welcome again to the Logan's Hour.
Thank you, Mr. Logan.
All right. So, for those following us, some of you know Mr. Robert C. Carey, but for the sake of some of us who don't know him, he's the current Secretary General of the Liberian Association of Indiana. So, we're going to give him an opportunity for him to introduce himself to us, then we can get the ball rolling. So, Mr. Carey, go ahead and introduce yourself, sir.
Well, listener, I'm Robert C. Carey, Secretary General of the Liberian Association of Indiana. I've been the Secretary General, we elected since November of 2022, and I was very active in the organization until September of 2023 when things started to go down the drain because the president, Mr. Julius K. Packer, was running the organization. Mismanaging the funds of the organization, violating the Constitution over and over. He and his vice president, Mr. Richard Boyer. And so I decided to hold them accountable, although I'm a member of the administration. But as we talk about change in Liberia, we have to start change from right here in our little association because people get used to such a behavior, and when they get the opportunity to go and serve back in Liberia, they take that same corrupt attitude back to Liberia and corrupt the people. So I decided to hold this administration, or those I'm part of them, or decided to hold the president and the vice president accountable and make sure they don't corrupt the Liberian people in Indiana.
Thank you so much, Mr. Robert C. Carey. I think I need to bring you closer. So yeah, I think it's better this way now because I keep you a little distant. Like when you see you clear. So let's bring you closer. So today gonna be fire. I can tell from your intro, it tells that today gonna be hell. And I'm very sure that you're willing to discuss everything that is in the lawsuit. So make sure you have all of your documents. So if you want to provide further information that you want to make reference, if you want me to post anything, if you send it to me, I'll also post it on the screen as well. This is not in the hands of the court anymore. It is outside, so nobody can blame us for discussing things that is in the control of the court. So today we're going to go straight to it. We're going to ask those of you following us, be very respectful, be very courteous as well. So we can't block anybody, we can't remove anybody from the show. But Mr. Carey, I'm going to ask the question as if I'm asking my question, I will post the question as well on the screen because I managed enough to pull all the question in my system. So at least if you do not understand the question well, but you see it right in front of you on the screen as well, so you can answer them. So let's start from the lawsuit first. So my question here to you is, how do you feel after the court decision? How do you feel after the court decision by dismissing your lawsuit?
Well, I respect the court decision, leaving the civilized award like when we have issue with each other or issue in an organization, the court is the final arbiter for every stuff. So, like if you can recall before, in 2019, after Mr. Tati won the election, we saw people fighting, people taking people to Prophet Key to insult them and the family. People were slashing people tired. And me, as a civilized person, I can't go that route. I decided to go to the court to get a redress from the things I saw that was not going on right in the administration.
Okay, thank you. So can you briefly summarize the reaction to the court ruling?
The court ruling, as I say, I respect the court ruling, but I saw something, and the court brought a lot of things that we in the organization never knew about. Like the constitution we are dealing with is like deceptive, it's fraud, and it's misleading. Because what the court talk about based on that ruling for which the court dismissed the case. The case that get this clear, the case did not go to trial. The case did not go to trial. The case was dismissed because of technicalities, because of the deceit that is in the constitution. The constitution are written by Dr. Famude and initial judge and co that deceived the Liberian people, collecting money from the people and lied to the Liberian people in the constitution that you're a member. And the court has just revealed that no member does not have a member. And based on that reason, the court said, I, who the Secretary General of LAI, I'm not a member of the organization. So if I'm not a member of the organization, then who are you? Are you a member?
And that's why I consider that as a low contradiction, because if you have the Constitution, Article 5 of the Liberian Association of Indiana Constitution, consider you as a member. So the contradiction I had, that's why I asked you this question here. The court said you are not a member of the association of the Liberian Association of Indiana, yet you are the current Secretary General. How do you reconcile this?
As I said, I respect the court ruling that their ruling was based on the amendment that was made to the Constitution in 2011. Yeah, when Mr. Casa Daniels was president of the organization, I guess that they were trying to get a 501c for the association, and they had to amend certain a provision in the Constitution. And I have that here. In that amendment, they amended two articles in the Constitution. That Constitution, then before the 2012 Constitution, which we are using now, they amended the Constitution on membership. In that amendment, they said membership is hereby amended, and the corporation shall not have members. And all along, the confusing part of the whole thing, this amendment was made in 2011 in May. Okay. And the Constitution which we are using now was ratified in 2012. The Constitution was chaired by Dr. Is Momo Famule and co-chaired by Mr. Initial George, who are also a defendant in this case, referring to us due payers and members. And when the amendment took place, they did not do due diligence, or they did it out of ignorance, or try to deceive the people, or maybe copy and paste other organization or constitution and present it as if they are writing a constitution. Because if the Constitution were amended, two articles were amended in 2011, but after that amendment, you are writing a new Constitution, you should have included this amendment, and not to refer to due payers and members. And after I filed a lawsuit, and the court came out to say that the organization does not have a member. That is deceptive, that is fraud, that is misleading, and that the founder and co-members of that Constitutional Committee, they owe the Liberian people apology.
So I understand that part of it, that is deceptive, with all of the adjectives that you just use. But do you believe that the court misunderstood the association governance structure?
The court decision was based on the amendment, on the article, or the article on which the organization was registered. Based on the court ruling, LDI should be run by the board and not by the president.
It's true. I saw that.
LDI should be run by the board and not by the president. The day-to-day affairs of LDI should be carried on by the board of directors. So the board of directors has the most power in LAI according to the code ruling, that the organization should be run by the board and not by administration headed by the president, and that the organization does not have members. So this shows that no member can take any executive member to court, even if Parker decide to eat all the, let's say, spend the association money. You cannot take him to court, because you take him to court as a member, the court will come out and say you are not a member, the organization does not have member, because the article was amended in 2011 in May that LDR does not have members. So if you go there, the court will throw your case out. So it's one of the court ruling. That's why the court dismissed the case, because the court said, I would the Secretary General, I'm not a member of LDR, and LDR does not have members.
That is another one to discuss. And this conversation here with that identical portion about who becoming a member or who is not a member, we need to expound more on that, because this is going to cause some confusion in the minds of so many Liberians living here. Because let me go back to the Liberian Association of Indiana Constitution and go to Article 4 on a membership. They say all members shall be required to complete and sign a registration form consenting to active members' obligations to the association. So if you sign a membership form, then what this means?
Look, Mr. Logan, that membership form based on the Constitution, the 2012 Constitution, LDR have been in existence. The organization was registered as LDR since 2004 with Indiana State and Department of State.
I saw that on the exhibits.
Yeah, there's been no record of the organization. Other people have held office, and my friend and brother who held the position of Secretary General twice kept no record, and we assumed office and had no record to start with. So when I assumed office, I decided to put the secretariat together, started putting documents together to make sure LDI look like a real organization, keeping records, writing meetings, keeping attendance record, all this stuff. So the whole organization stuff is kind of confusing. The Constitution is a trash, it's fraud, because my case was based on the Constitution. Based on the 2012 Constitution is which all my argument were based on.
Yes.
If the case are going to trial, trust me, Logan, I'm going to win Parker, because Parker is a corrupt guy. Let me make it clear. Parker is corrupt. Parker has been mismanaging the organization fund. And I have documented proof that Parker has been taking money from the account, taking money from LDI account and spending it. And because of that, when I started to raise issue, Parker blocked me from the account. He went to the bank because we had a paper or a statement come in. He went and changed it to electronic copy and gave the password to the financial secretary and refused to give me the password.
Okay, Robert, let me bring you back here to the Constitution. Let's stick on the membership just for a little bit before we can go over, because the reason why I'm saying this, because if you say the Constitution was registered with the state of Indiana since 2012, and there's a lot of amendments have been made to the Constitution. 2004. Sorry, thank you for that. So since 2004, with all of these amendments that have been made within the Constitution, they have never registered with the state to say, yeah, we have made some amendment. These are what new bylaws and rules that govern us today. That's what you're saying here?
I don't know the Constitution, whether they submitted the 2012 Constitution, but I didn't see anything with the state that they only sent a document and say they were amending certain articles within the Constitution. That's the Constitution for the 2012 Constitution. And in one of the amendments, which is Article 4, I guess Article 4 in the Constitution before the 2012 Constitution, that talks about membership. So they amended the article and it said LDI shall not have members. So if you use the word shall is must, yes. Shall not have members. And I say LDI may not have members. They say LDI shall not have members. So it means we don't have members. People just take our money, spend it anyhow, and you cannot hold them accountable. If you run to the court will throw your case out and say you are not a member, You have no standing to bring a lawsuit against anybody within the administration.
So you're trying to say any members of the institution or anybody who consider themselves as dues payer under the impression as a member of this organization, because here they talk about membership status under Section 2, Article 4. Section 2 say active members should meet the following criteria. 1, officially register with the association. 2, attend at least 2 general meetings of the association of the state assembly within a year. 3, stay current on your dues for the date of registration. 4, perform all responsibilities prescribed by the Constitution. So the issue that have to do with staying current with your dues and attending meetings, so what happened with those that are following that? It make no sense to anybody here. From what I just read
from the court ruling, you know, court ruling, when the court come down with a ruling, that becomes a law, that's a case law, and that's a precedent. So the court has ruled.
Exactly, that's why I was interested into this case, because I knew this
That's
was
a precedent. The court has ruled. So nobody who claiming, because I say claiming to be a member of LDI can take anybody to court from the administration. If even Packer decides to spend all the association money, nobody can take them to court, because the court will throw your case outside based on the ruling that you're not a member of LDI. LDI does not have member.
It's true. And I saw that from Mr. Parker's lawyer, Mr. Parker and Mr. Initial George lawyer to the court in their exhibits. And their argument was, you are not a member of the institution because according to the Act of 1991, Article of Amendment, it states that the association should have no member. So
exactly.
My point, if Mr. Parker and Mr. Initial George know this all along and their lawyer is court, so why they never make this clear to the community?
You see, that's why I say these people, they are fraud, they are deceptive. If even, let's say, for instance, they never knew about this, after the court ruling, they should have come out to the community and explain to the community, oh, this constitution, I think we did not understand the sanctity of the constitution. I expect Mr. Parker to ask the board of directors to set up a constitution review committee immediately to rewrite the constitution, incorporating this court ruling on the membership, and let the Liberian people know what have been hidden in the constitution, that this constitution is fraud. We cannot use the constitution anymore, that we have to rewrite the constitution. But they have not come out to say that to the Liberian people. They put out that argument through the lawyer that the association does not have members, and they are not informed the Liberian people to inform them that you are not members of the association, and they are still asking people to pay the dues. That corruption, that deceptive, that fraud.
Yeah, because I saw that in Mr. Parker response, because Mr. Parker and Initial George respond, the lawyer presented their argument, and in the motion to dismiss the case, the lawyer said these words, and I'm gonna just read it right here. The lawyer said the association corporate power are vested in the board of directors, which manage and control the association affairs. See Indiana Code 23-17.21.1. According to its amended article adopted on May 10, 2011, the association should have no members. That was the argument.
Yeah, and the court granted a motion and dismissed the case based on that. That I'm not a member, LDI does not have members. And they are still asking people to pay dues as members.
And it even went further to quote the Indiana Code. They say non-for-profit corporations such as the Liberian Association of Indiana is not required to have a member.
Exactly.
So then we are in similar trouble here, because we need a further clarity to these things that we are reading here today. Because I saw this, because the reason why I put more emphasis on these things, because I saw it in Mr. Parker and Mr. Initial George respond to the court of motion to dismiss this case. And their motion was Mr. Carey have no standing because Mr. Carey is not a member. So my question remains, if Mr. Parker relinquished power today, he's not a member, according to the code.
No, even now Parker is not a member, because Parker was elected just as our elected. So elected officials, if you say I'm not a member, because my argument when Parker and Initial George, through the lawyer, put out this argument to the court, I responded. And in my response, I told the court that I'm a member, and I quoted exhibit of the Constitution that talks about membership, and if Parker and initial judge were arguing, I'm not a member, then Parker and initial judge, they are not members. But of course, based the argument on the Indiana law on non-for-profit 1991 code that a non-for-profit organization shall not have members. And in the Constitution that was written by Dr. Famuda, they said, we are members. So they are deceiving people, taking money from people, referring to them as members. And meanwhile, the law of Indiana said the organizations shall not have members.
Wow. This is I don't understand, and I still need more interpretation as to what the code says here. But
Mr. Logan, you know the lawsuit have so many evidence to nail Parker. So Parker went to the field click, they went to the meeting, and in fact, they didn't go to the meeting. They took money from the association account and paid a lawyer because Parker knew that if the case are going to trial, you're going to be found guilty because I got all the evidence to nail him to the wall. So he ran to his lawyer, begging his lawyer, we have to find a way to dismiss the case. And the lawyer was able to find a way to win a check, and we got this article, the amended article, to dismiss the case. But I bet you if the case are going to court, Parker will have been found guilty for corruption and violation of the Constitution.
Wow. So for some of us who don't know, for those who following us for the first time, so Robert, do you care to at least further elaborate on what prompted you to sue Mr. Julius Parker and the former board chairperson?
Okay, I'll let it go back a little. You know, the Liberian Association of Indiana, and this community, I moved in the community in 2012, and I came very quiet, me and my wife. We're not visible in the community. And at a certain time, when the 2019 elections were coming up, and people recommended me, and one day Bishop Winnie called me. He said, Abby Pennon, the then president, had appointed him to chair the election commission. He was looking for people with character to serve on this commission. And he asked me to serve as one of the commissioners. And I told him at the time I was very busy. I could not serve on the commission. So he kept calling me, he appealed to me. And later I decided to form part of the commission. And that 2019 election, we ran that election, and that election we ran one of the best. We changed a lot of stuff. You know, before then, people just need to go, go to election. They just go to the hall, pay your due right there, and register. And we stop a lot of things, put a lot of documents in place. And that commission was headed by Mrs. Hannah Kolibo, who I respect so much. And we had a very good election, though there was problem because the then Secretary General, Mr. Jan Vudule, had no document to show. There was no attendance record, no minutes to show any document. So there was a lot of confusion, who qualified for meeting, who not qualified. So we decided to trash our whole meeting outside of the election law because there was no document to show whether somebody attended meeting or not. And the election went on, and Mr. Rufus Tati came out victorious. And then I came by in my corner. But based on the performance of the election commission, and I was one of the commissioners and the secretary on that commission, the Liberian Association was part of, and they saw what I could do. They came to me again, appealing to me to come and serve as Secretary General for the Liberian Association. I told them I was busy and I never wanted it. And they keep coming to me talking. Even Julius Parker, one of those that came and talked to me, that, oh man, we need you to come and serve as the Secretary General of FEDLA, and a lot of members, including the present chairman, my own papa, Mr. Abraham Collison. So I decided to join and serve on the executive committee as the Secretary General. There again, I put a lot of stuff in place, and things went on smoothly. So when the 2022 election were approaching, Feda Knocker called me one day. He told me, oh man, his sister wanted to run to be president, Ether, and she needed a strong team, and he needed me to serve as Secretary General to run with Ether. And I told him I never needed it. I'm a basic person, a family man, and he appealed to me. He called me over and over. So later he told me that, oh, Ether, husband said she should not get into Liberian politics. So then, according to Feda, he called Parker twice, asked Parker to run. Parker refused. He turned it down and said he never wanted to be president because, Parker knows his limitation. He's not a leader. He's a backdoor guy. He only sits behind the decks. He cannot lead a group of people. Then Feda talked to Miko, who was the vice president then, to serve as president. So Miko too, according to Feda, never wanted it, and Feda, as he always does, push people. And later Miko, according to Feda, said, if you can get a Carey on board and get the good people to run with me, then I can go as president. So we had a meeting and we all agreed that Miko would run as president. And Parker was in that meeting. Parker agreed to go as vice president to Miko. So after we set up the team, and after we went home the next day, Feda called me. Something happened. Parker had called Feda and told Feda he can no longer run as vice president to Miko. He was going to run as president. So Feda was confused. And Feda said, well, Parker had to do this. When I called him twice, he refused to go as president. So I think 2 days later, Miko called me. We talked on the phone. Miko was heartbreaking that Parker had stabbed her in the back, So from there, I started to know who Parker was. But I've committed myself to the community, and I saw that the whole secretariat was a mess. So I decided to come on to help to build the secretariat. So that's how we team up together and decided to run. Then Miko stepped aside. And the main thing that Miko was really angry about, after coming by, stabbing Miko in the back, and Parker told Miko, oh, if he can agree, he can run as my vice president. And Miko saw that as an insult to her. After agreeing to go as Miko vice president, then you want to flip the coin. Then decided to run, team up together, and later Richard wanted to run, and Richard, another corrupt individual, very inept, the guy who escaped from Liberia from stealing from FRB Bank, for which Joseph Braga had paid $8 million to SRB Bank today because Richard Boyer, one of the people that were indicted in that case, that stole $1 million from FRB Bank.
Those are strong allegations.
That's the allegation. If Richard think I'm lying, he can take me to the court. This is America. He can sue me for defamation of character. Richard ran from that case. He and other friends, they stole $1 million from the bank. After the bank indicted them, he was able to escape from Liberia and came to America. No, Richard is very fake. I can tell you in the face. And this guy came and he managed a way, and Parker accepted him to go as VP. And during the election, that case came up. Richard was involved in some corruption in Liberia, and he escaped in this. And Richard ran into the election commission and showed some World Trade Center document, and based on that document, he was qualified to run for the election. But Richard, he's a corrupt guy, very inept, and he started the whole thing. Became vice president, could not do his job, and Parker became president too, very inept, cannot look people in the face to tell them, oh, you're not doing your job, or you're not doing things the right way. And I started to push Parker. We have to do it this way, do it this way. So if you can recall, from the beginning of the administration, everything was going good. So Richard saw that, quote unquote, our being powerful in the administration. Yeah, it could be our being powerful, but our making things so happy because Richard was not doing work. And as a vice president, he's supposed to supervise all the committees, and he was not doing that. And people would call me, oh, Mr. SG, we have to do this, and the vice president is not doing anything about it, and I have to step in. And they saw that our crossing boundary. So I decided when I came, the promise I made, the election promise, that I was going to write a historical magazine for LAI, so that drafted into the budget. But Richie was on the budget committee. You were able to persuade the other people in the committee to take out that part, to trash that off from the budget. And we did not have fun to print that magazine. That magazine was in full swing. People were already writing the articles. Even Mr. Initial George was writing an article. The IRC chairman was writing an article, and other people were writing articles for that magazine. And the whole thing started during the inaugural board committee. After that inaugural board, and we went to the meeting, and the inaugural board gave its report, and the assembly rejected the inaugural board report because they sensed some corruption in the whole spending. And the report was turned over to the board of directors to investigate. And when the board came out in the September meeting of last year, that not a single person applied to serve on the audit committee they wanted to set up. And later, 2 other people came to me and told me, they applied to serve on our committee. So why the board will come out and say nobody applied? So then Richard had made 3 meetings, which violated a section in the Constitution that says any elected official that missed 3 consecutive meetings should have his position declared vacant. So I brought it to the attention of Julius Parker and the other executive members that Richard violated the Constitution, and according to the Constitution, he has to be taken to the assembly for the assembly to decide his fate. From there, Parker decided to cover up Richard. I went to several meetings. We asked for Richard. Richard was not attending the meeting. We asked Parker. Parker would say, I don't know what that man is. He did not tell me anything. So when I think him or Richard violated the Constitution, Parker decided, Richard called me the other meeting. He said he was not here. Then the financial secretary, Ms. Fatima Famula, the foreign person, Ms. Fatima Famula said, Mr. President, I don't believe you. He had never wanted to us that Richard asked for an excuse. So why now you trying to cover up for Richard?
You mean the current secretary general, current financial secretary, right?
The current financial secretary, Ms. Fatima Famula.
Okay.
And we went back and forth, and Parker became adamant to cover up for Richard. So I think the news got out there. You're having a show, and called me on one of your shows, and say, I heard that the vice president violated this article of the Constitution, and he wanted to confirm, and I confirmed it on that show. Yeah, it's true that he violated the Constitution, and we are planning to bring it to the assembly for the assembly to decide if it. And Parker came out the next day. Asked me as a secretary general. He came out with a write-up telling the people, the public, that what all I said on the Logan's Hour is false and misleading. And I did that now with the knowledge of the rest of the team. And the vice president did not violate any part of the Constitution. He's still the vice president. So he myself went back and forth in the chat room. From there, I wrote the board of directors to investigate the issue about Richard violation. So when I wrote the board started to drag its feet to investigate the complaint. So from there, on December, there was a flyer that went out, posted by Richard Boyer to calling for a general meeting. And that meeting should have been held on December 3rd. So I came over for another flyer and said that there will be no meeting. From there, we went back and forth again. Parker, Richard, we all went back and forth. Then within that time, Dr. Famula called me. So he called me and said, why people are doing the case with the board? And I said, no, the case with the board, we should settle the case before we call any general meeting. Because a horse that is not standing should not go to the general. Why we want to tell the people? The people are already seeing that we are fighting among ourselves. So while Parker called in a meeting when my complaint had not been looked into, and even the board even asked him to find a date that we all can meet to handle this problem, and did not find a date, did not get back to the board, and decided to call a general meeting. And I said the meeting will not hold. So that the family said, so have Parker have a meeting on the 3rd, that the family tried to collude with Parker. So immediately they called a meeting, a conference on the 2nd of December, a day before the meeting. And in that conference, we discussed, discussed my complaint, and Dr. Famule were in our meeting in Sis Malone, and Mr. Initial George were on the phone. And in that meeting, Dr. Famule said, the board said, so long Richard gave excuse to the president, Richard did not violate the Constitution. I insisted Richard violated the Constitution because the Constitution did not give any excuse to say that if a person gave excuse or not. And besides, Richard did not give any excuse. Parker was trying to cover up for Richard. So the board said, I said, and since Mano said in our meeting, I have to accept the result because that's my last bus stop. And I told them that the board was not my last bus stop. The court was my last bus stop.
The court is
so
the
I
final
waited
arbiter.
for 45 days. 45 days, I did not hear from the board. They said they're going to get back to me. I did not hear from the board 45 days. So January 12th, I went to the court. I filed for injunction and had the whole case started. And in my complaint, I accused Parker of mismanagement of funds, that's corruption and violation of the Constitution. And I also said that the board colluded with Parker to violate the Constitution. That what brought Mr. Initial George in, who was the chairman of the board. Being chairman of the board, he had to go and represent the board because I accused the board of colluding with Parker to violate the Constitution.
Thank you so much for that, Mr. Robert C. Carey. That was a splendid explanation as to what prompted you to file this lawsuit. And while we are going on, I want to use this time to say our condolences to my dear sister, Tutu Makate, the Logan's our princess. She's bereaved. Tutu, our condolences. So those of you who follow up for the first time, I don't know where you are on the Logan's Hour. Don't forget. And when the show is hot, Raul Carey is putting the show on fire. What do we see? All right. Today is a very, very, very great day to be alive. Mr. Robert C. Carey is here, putting more flames up. And I'm grateful you came. And I'm grateful those who heard about this case being in court, but Robert Carey suing the association. At least you're able to explain yourself that this case never went to trial. It was just based on what was submitted by Mr. Parker and his lawyer to dismiss this case, that the association has no members according to the Constitution of 1991 or whatever. So that's why, based upon that, the judge dismissed the case, because I saw all the exhibits. The exhibit shows that the Liberian Association of Indiana, according to amended article adopted on May 10, 2011, the association shall have no members. They say go and see the one, Article 4, Section 4, Article 5, Section 4 at P.4. So that was the motion to dismiss this case that was filed by Mr. Parker and his lawyer. So I just want to make that clear. So it's not Mr. Carey saying that. All right, Mr. Carey, let me ask you this question here, because I know a lot of people following or critics are saying this. So how do you respond to critics who say that this lawsuit against Mr. Parker is just about personal vendetta against Mr. Parker? How do you respond to that?
No, it's not that. Parker, I know Parker myself being the main association since I came into the community, and Parker served as vice chair of the men association. I serve as secretary general of the men association. I have no issue with Parker. Parker myself, we've been friends, though not really friends, but we are work together. We work together in bringing Mr. Alexander Cummings to Indiana. If you recall, in 2018, Parker myself, I traveled to Minnesota to meet Mr. Cummings. When Parker father passed, me and other members of the community, we drove to Atlanta, Georgia, to see his father lay to rest. So Parker and myself have been friends, and I have no. But when it comes to doing the right things, I got no friends. I got no friends when it comes to doing the right thing, because we criticize other people in Liberia, and we all are talking to make a change in Liberia. And to do that, we have to start right within our little organization in the Americas, because one of us may be opportune today to go to Liberia and serve in a position. And if you cannot take that monkey hand from the cookie jar in here, and that person goes to Liberia, they're going to take that same monkey hand there to start putting their hand in the cookie jar. So I got no issue with Parker. Parker and myself never had any issue before the lawsuit.
Then that's a big one. That's a big one. If there was
So,
nothing,
there was no issue to take a friend to court. They even know somebody. I speak truth to power. It's not only the Liberian Association. Those who know me from Liberia when I work at the Ministry of National Defense, Richard knows who to ask. He knows Dixon. He knows Dixon, friends in Dixon, and he can ask Dixon about me. Where the country where they can fire you anytime you walk, your shoe heat or will eat up, and I can challenge authority there when you are doing the wrong thing. And I didn't just start it from here. That have been my nature from childhood. You can ask my brother. My brother, you all know him, Pastor Carey. He will tell you from childhood. I look people in the eye and tell them the truth. Whether you're my friend or not, I don't bite and blow.
That's commendable. That's commendable. So, what do you think about those who saying that this lawsuit have created a lot of division in the Liberian community? Do you think your action have created division within the association?
I don't think so. Only those sycophants will say that created division, because those sycophants, they see me to be enemy. I'm not anybody. When I see them go out on occasion, when I see them, I walk to them and shake their hand. Some of them try to hide from me, but I walk to them and shake their hand. This lawsuit, although was dismissed, but I brought certain things, I brought up things that we can look at as a community to fix the organization if we want to, because the entire constitution need to be rewritten. And a lot of stuff the lawsuit brought up, a lot of stuff that need to be fixed. A lot of darkness the people have been have been brought to light from the lawsuit. So I'm proud of that I was able to take the association to court, and my decision to take the association to court have revealed so many lapses within the association.
All right, that's a beautiful one. That's a beautiful one. So, considering this lawsuit that you filed against the association, what's your next step? Considering this court ruling.
So, as I said from the beginning, Parker is corrupt, Richard is corrupt, and Fatty have been caught in a web of corruption.
Cool.
And Parker and Richard, both of them, they are of the same feather, so they flock together. I'm not in the clique. I'm not of the same feather of them. So in the coming days or week, I'll be sending my resignation to the assembly. I cannot work with these guys because they are corrupt.
That's a breaking news.
I cannot work with them. Yeah. I'm a person with principle, and I cannot work people who violate the constitution and spend the association money without following the rules that are laid down in the constitution, how money should be spent. If you look at some of the checks that were deposited and withdrawn from the bank, you see one person signing a check. You see one of the check here, Parker took $3,000 from the account. He alone signed a check when the constitution says two persons should sign check, and Parker alone signed a check and took that $3,000 from the account for which purpose I don't know of. He also signed another check for $300 to somebody. Yeah, so Parker got one of the checkbook and Fatty got one. So Parker can sign check anytime, take money from ADI account anytime. Fatty can take money from the account anytime without anybody knowing. And meanwhile, the Constitution says, Article 8, Section 5.6 said that two persons should sign on the check, the president and the financial secretary, or the president and the secretary general. And one person has been signing on check. So that corruption, that violation of the Constitution. And after I filed a lawsuit, they did not stop. They still continue to do the same thing, signing check alone, taking money from the account
You say
The
article.
ISL,
You say article. You say
Article 8, Section 5.6.
oh, Article 8, Section 5.6.
Yeah.
Okay, Article 8,
Really?
Section 5.6. All disbursement shall be turned up by way of an approved voucher or check with the signatures of the president and one of the other signatory to the bank account. Okay. Okay. I just want our audience to grab that part of
Yeah,
it.
so if
All right.
I send a copy of check, if you can pull that $3,000 check up,
No,
that
you don't need to send me that. Looking our game. We got copy of those checks as well, because you see right now, currently, as I'm showing you here, this is February 24th, 2024. To Benford Johnson, which is the lawyer that represented Mr. Parkhurst and Mr. Anisha George, they disbursed $3,000 to the lawyer here, signed by Mr. Parker as well. Yeah.
You see on that check, no, that Fatima from that signed that check. She signed that check alone.
Okay, Anthony
Well,
has
two persons signed check. She and Parker should have signed that check. She don't sign that check.
Yeah.
Then if you look on the other check for the $3,000 that Parker took from the account in December, in November of 2022, he had no sign that check.
I have most of these documents, but my question is here. My question is, looking at giving this lawyer $3,000 in December, coming to February as well, February 24th, giving additional $3,000, making it $6,000. It is alleged that he charged the association $10,000. So if they are paid $6,000, they owe him bottom $4,000. And with all of these revelations that were submitted to the court, telling the court to dismiss this case is it has no merit, rather has no standing. In fact, according to our own laws that we crafted, I'm speaking about a motion to dismiss this case, though. Mr. Parker and his lawyer said, according to its amended article adopted on May 10, 2011, the association should have no member. So all of this information, Mr. Parker and Mr. Anisha George provide this document to their lawyer to present it to the court. So if they know you have no standing, their case cannot go anywhere. Why we have to pay a lawyer $10,000? Why we have to get him free money when we know the case will not go anywhere?
No, Parker was not clear on that, so he was afraid that if the case are going to trial, are going to nail him for corruption in violation of the Constitution. So when he talked to the lawyer, and the lawyer was found a way to dismiss the case because Parker was very troubled. He was trembling. He was afraid that when the case go to court, he'll be seen as a corrupt person in the community, and of course, of which I know he's corrupt. He violated the Constitution. He spent the association money without the assembly approval. For what reason, I don't know.
That's a big one. That's a big one. So for all of you who following us here, want to say thank you for joining us. We are glad you are on the Logan's Hour. Today we are in conversation with the Secretary General of the Liberian Association of Indiana, Mr. Robert C. Carey, and he's talking about the just ended court case between he and the president of the Liberian Association of Indiana, Mr. Julius K. Parker, and also the former board chairperson, Mr. Anisha George. So Mr. Carey is here giving his side of the story, explaining his side of the story. And we also extended invitation to Mr. Anisha George, but he said that he needed to have more information on this case, because since the case where the ruling came down from the judge, he hasn't received a copy. At the time I wrote to him, though. So Mr. Parker also declined. He said he has so many other things to think about. He has so many things that are important to him. And key of those is finding justice for his son. And another thing he said this was a frivolous lawsuit against him. That if I needed more information about it, I need to go on the state website and find it from there myself. That would be more helpful. So I think you saw when we first posted a flyer, the flyer had Mr. Parker, Mr. Anisha George. It wasn't indicating that Mr. Parker and Mr. Anisha George were appearing on today's edition. It was only giving you a clearer picture to know those involved with this lawsuit. But out of courtesy, received numerous calls from parties who were on the flyer that I should take their loved ones' picture from the flyer because they declined. I want to say to you all, I respect you people, and I remove your picture from the flyer because out of community respect. But let me make this clear, categorically clear. No public official serving in a public space.
Exactly.
I don't need to consent to you before I can write a news story and put your picture up. No popular official need to be consented before the pictures can go up on it on any news flyer. It shouldn't just be defamation. It shouldn't just be defaming you or using you for any promotional thing. But when it comes to bringing the news and writing the news, I have the right because your pictures is in the public space. If you don't want it, don't be a popular official. I just want to make that clear. So all the calls I receive, text messages, people writing me, telling me, say, oh, this, telling me that, I just did it out of respect. But if I'm writing a news story, I ain't going to do that. Okay. So now I have with me now in the studio somebody who's going to ask you some of the questions. He also here, he's going to ask at least 3 questions. Then we're going to open the lines up because I know a lot of people have been trying to call. We're going to open the line up because I just have my phone muted. So we're going to open the lines up for those who following us to make their input. If you have a question, you can ask your question. And if you have nothing to say, that's fine. Just for watching, we want to say thank you. You are the real deal. So we're going to bring in our dear brother and friend, the young, progressive young man, Mr. Jeremiah Kisely, the man who got the permanent head damage, PhD.
The doctor himself. How you doing, Doc?
That's silly.
I'm good, my brother. How you guys doing?
I'm okay.
Good,
Your phone is grinding a little. I don't know if you want to check it a little.
Are you hearing me now?
Yes, but you're coming in a little buffer. So can you just go off and come back and see if it worked better than that?
Maybe my headphone on.
Oh, you got a headphone on?
My little.
Yeah, maybe I think that's it. Try to pull your Bluetooth off and see if that's gonna work.
Okay.
All right. So those of you following us, we have Mr. Jeremiah Kisely just join us here, and he will ask some of the questions. But before Mr. Kisely can ask those questions he have on mind, let's go to Mr. Park. I mean, say Mr. Carey and conclude with Mr. Carey because Mr. Carey here, you know, he explained about himself, explained about his personal and professional career. So, Mr. Carey, how has this experience of the court affecting your personal and your private career or professional life?
It's not affecting my private life anyway, and
Okay.
not in any way. I never needed any a record for my resume. I have a rich resume, and I just a community-based organization.
Mhm.
I serve on the national level in Liberia. I serve Liberia on the national level, and I serve Liberia, and I left record there. Look, I go to every job with passion. I don't just go to a job and sit there and be at the back. Whenever, whatever job, whether voluntarily or paid job, I go with passion. I'm always missed when I leave that area. So this has no effect on me. LAI is nothing. If I edit, I was taking my time, my family time. So I'm so glad that this law or suit came out and we were able to reveal and educate the Liberian people and open the eyes to the deceit of some people in the community, and how they are being fooled that they are members of the association. Meanwhile, they are not member, and they are being collecting money from them. And the organization membership article was amended, and it did not inform the people. They did not include it in the Constitution of 2012. So all those things are being revealed. So as a living, I hope those who are staying around will push the administration and the board to make all these corrections that came from the case, that the membership of the organization and the board is supposed to lead the organization. And you have to rewrite the Constitution, not just to rewrite the Constitution, setting a constitutional committee. After a new Constitution has been written, you should call a seasoned lawyer, pay the lawyer, either got some money, pay the lawyer to go over it with this article of incorporation in the 1991 a law that was passed in Indiana concerning non-for-profit organization to make sure everything is done right.
So just a follow up to that question, I see the current financial secretary of the Miss Fatima Family. She's here and she's going back and forth. She's almost saying that the interpretation is not the right interpretation, and she asking us. She said here, can you guys please explain Indiana law regarding organizations? So what is it that we have to explain regarding organizations?
I think that question should go to Parker and Mr. George, because they've presented that, say that we are not members, and If you can go to the case, the Parker refer you to, go to the case online, you'll see the article of incorporation are amended in 2011.
Yes,
The
I saw
article
that.
amended. It said LDR has no members.
Yes, yes, I read
It said
that.
the corporation shall not have members. It said may not have members. It shall not.
Yeah,
It's binding, shall not. So LDR has no members. So Fatima should not be asking people to pay dues until this constitution will be rewritten and find a way to refer to people as shareholders instead of calling them members and be taking money from them.
yeah. Fair enough. Mr. Jeremiah Sadiq, can you hear us?
I think you're muted.
You're muted, Dr. J. The man muted, but I can't hear him. Go ahead again, speak. Hold your headphone on and plug it in again. See if you see the headphone. Hold it, take it out and plug it in again. Yeah, or you go to okay and unmute yourself and see. We can't hear you, Jeremiah. So you want to log out again, go back and on the app to log in, it will ask you accept audio like that. I think that's going to work. All right. So if you just joined, I'll have Mr. Robert C. Carey, Mr. Jeremiah Silly will come in with his question. But if you love to ask your question, the number to call tonight is 401-359-5072. The number is on the screen. You can ask Mr. Carey your question. But again, please be respectful. Please be respectful. We are not fighting no war here. Okay, I got a first call coming. Oh my God, I'll keep your person for last. We got a person here. The person will be saying, I need more time. So I'll keep your person for last. All right. So if you want to call, the number is 401-359-5072. Or if you have a question in the comment section, I can also pick your question from there and also read your question to Mr. Carey while he's waiting for the calls to come through. He will be addressing your question. So we have the ambassador is watching. I'm here from the fight from Mr. Carey, Honorable Carey. The case may be dismissed, but thank you for exposing them. Okay. All right, Dr. J, try again. Oh God, what happened to Jeremiah?
You just forget about the hairpiece and
Jeremiah,
just
took out the hairpiece and just try to do.
Yeah.
Just take it out and try. Then we have Melvin George. The next person here is Mr. Stephen Carter. He said, I have interest of being a part of the organization, even though I'm not in the United States. Is it possible? No, Mr.
No.
Stephen Carter. We have Mr. Melvin George here. Mr. Melvin George said, how can we pay dues for an organization for which we are a member?
That's a $1 million question, Melvin.
Melvin
We are not members.
Melvin want to
If
know.
people can chop all the money, you cannot take them to court. And you go to court, will throw your case out and say you're not a member. Because the organization are registered as non-member organization. LDR has no member.
Yeah, Melvin want to know.
So even the financial secretary is not a member.
Yeah. So I think okay, the line is open right now. Let me do this. Oh, I think my phone been muted. Oh, okay. I see I'm hearing nothing. Okay, let me get this person quick. Honorable Jeevan Smith, how are you?
I'm all right.
Oh, okay. Honorable Jan Folula, hold on. I got Mr. Smith on. So, Mr. Smith, I'll merge you with Jan. Jan will be the second person to come in.
Okay.
All right, Jan Folula, hold on. I got Jeevan Smith, so I'm going to merge you after Jeevan, then you can come in. All right, Jeevan, go ahead.
Am I live?
Yeah, you are live.
Well, greetings to your studio guest, Mr. Carey. I would like to commend you on your.
Okay, Jeevan, I'm going to pull Mr. Melvin George on, so you'll be 3 on. Mr. Melvin George, can you hold on Jeevan the first? After Jeevan, Jan Folula, then followed by Mr. Melvin George. Go ahead.
I'd like to commend the studio guest on his courage.
Mm-hmm.
I also like to tell him congratulations. We When they started, we were both on the opposite side of the political spectrum. However, it's refreshing to see that the issues that we were preaching about, unfortunately, he had to be somehow a part of it. And then before he realized that truth transcends rhetorics and personal feelings. I'll have a couple of questions to ask him. One of them is the issue of his constitution not having, or saying it should not have members. Was it something that he was ever aware of? And what he think we can do, or the Liberians in Indiana can do? Also, would he like to address the fact that LAI, from the way the Constitution is written, it's not an organization for all Liberians in Indiana, which is something that we have. We brought up, and they use rhetorics against it to win the political war on that. The other issue is with the monies that have been collected under the guise of members. Yeah, he's safe to say that those in leadership can actually take the money and spend it however, which they've been doing, and whenever they feel comfortable, and there is no other person, not just Mr. Carey, no other Liberian who is part of that can come up to challenge it. And when he would be willing to apologize, because when we raised this issue about due payment, and we're not going to pay dues or partake in what we saw, we had a discernment to see ahead. Not to me, I'm not saying apologizing, but the rest of the other Liberians who were part of this, and we are still part of this, that were sidelined when they started to raise the question. I will listen off here. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Carey. I hope you have all of your points taken. All right, Jifam, thank you so much, Mr. Jifam Smith. So we're going to take Mr. Jan Fulula. Mr. Fulula, it should be a question, please. Uh-oh. Hold on. I have Mr. Fulula and Mr. George. Okay, let me take this person first. The phone went off because I have three of them on the line at the same time. So let me take Mr. George and I'll come to Mr. Fulula. Please, guys, let's ask questions. We don't have too much time. Mr. George?
Yes, sir.
Go ahead with your question, sir. How are you?
So, mine is not a question. I want to, first of all, it's just a comment. I want to, first of all, thanks to studio guest, Mr. Carey, for coming on here. This issue is really a great concern. It's unfortunate that our leaders in the community will have this kind of an idea, especially with the amendment of the Constitution, and everything has been going like everything is okay. If for any reason they are aware that there was an amendment that made a change that don't consider any due payer to be a member of the Constitution and are leading us, it's like we are being led blindfolded. Yeah. So, like I said to Fatih, I'm not sure the code is a novice. These are experienced people. They're not going to just dismiss your case because they want to dismiss your case. Yeah, so the court dismissed this case because they saw the need to dismiss the case. Because
you can hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you.
Because Carey was not. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Sorry, I'll tell you, Jeremiah. We can hear him now because you're ready to fire now.
The court is not this. The court did not dismiss this case. I'm very sure because they just did because they want to. There was a reason why they did this because they were not making sense. So, like I said to Fatih, since the thing what Carey has said online is wrong, we will need the current copy of the Constitution and the amended copy. I don't know if there's any change made since the amendment. We need those two copies to be read in a meeting so we can know where we stand as members of the community because we cannot be led like this. This is unfortunate. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Okay, let's have Mr. Fulula right now. Mr. Fulula, go ahead with your question. Mr. Fulula?
Hello? Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you now. Go ahead.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Logan. Once again, it is a privilege, to be on Logan Hours tonight. And I want to say thanks to your studio guest, Mr. Robert C. Carey in studio. My dear brother, Robert C. Carey, you have been a long time. We have not heard you in the community. I'm glad to see you here tonight, and you are safe and sound. Okay, now I have a few questions. I will just make it short. Mr. Carey, if you can please take my question down, if you can address it, that's fine. If not, that's still okay. Mr. Carey, when you took your case to the board and you said the board was delaying to address your case, what prevented you, knowing very well that the General Assembly is the higher decision-making body of this organization? What prevented you of raising that concern in a general meeting? What prevented you? That's the first question. Mr. Carey, you vividly said on this platform tonight that all of the administrators know about this amendment. They knew about this amendment and they sat on it because it was in their interest. Do you also believe that you were also in the know of this amendment? Because you said Mr. Parker and Mr. George, who is the administrator, and Mr. George was the the board member.
What happened on Jan? Jan, are you there? Folula. Okay, Folula I think his phone is freezing. All right, so let's hear from Mr. Jeremiah Sele quick. Then we'll take Mr. Anthony Giffler. Or I should take Mr. Anthony Giffler and come back to you.
Yeah, take him.
Okay.
Take the audience.
Okay, let's take Mr. Giffler quick. Mr. Giffler been called in. Robert, you been muted.
Please leave your message.
Okay, I think Mr. Giffler trying to call me while I'm trying to call him back. Okay, it's ringing now. Mr. Giffler. Mr. Giffler, how are you? You are live. Go ahead.
Just one question.
Okay.
Okay, Mr. Carey. Now that the court has come down with the ruling, do you see all the members of the association in making restitution for their own expenses?
Okay. He will answer that question.
Okay, that's my case.
Okay, thank you. Go ahead, Mr. Fulula. You were on the line before you drop off.
No, I was hearing you, but you were not hearing me. I don't know why.
Okay.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we are hearing you now.
All right. My first question was, Mr. Robert C. Carey, knowing very well that the General Assembly, that the Constitution that you're going by on your case, the General Assembly is the higher decision-making body of the organization. What prevented you of bringing the case before the General Assembly, even if it was not on the agenda, because there are AOB sessions within the general meeting that people can bring up issues. Like you did to all the rest of the people that reach out to you, because you have your aim to take the course and make sure that the case is your concern is addressed. What prevented you of bringing this case, your concern, to the general body, if the board was delaying to look into your case? That's my first question. My second question is, can you hear me still?
Yeah, we hear you.
My second question is, Mr. Carey, you said on this platform, Mr. President or Mr. Parker knew about the amendment in questions. Knew about the amendment, and Mr. Initial Judge knew about the amendment. They didn't raise that concern because it was in their interest. Being an executive member of this organization and the custodian of the document in questions, do you also knew about this amendment? If you say, and how do you know that Mr. George and Mr. Parker knew about the amendment? So that's no question there. Did you also knew about the amendment?
So
and how did you know that Mr. George
Yeah,
and Mr.
one
Parker
very
knew about
question.
the amendment?
okay. So, Mr. Foluda, before you leave shortly, you are one of the former Secretary General. Were you in the know of this amendment? Because this amendment was done since May 10, 2011.
I was not in the know like the rest of all of you sitting here as member of this organization. I was not in the know.
Okay, thank you for that.
Okay.
Okay, Jan.
Let
Thank
me
you so
answer
much.
the question.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, Mr. Carey, you can go ahead and address the question quick so Mr. Jeremiah Sele can come in.
Yeah, Mr. Jibon Smith asked about the non-members of the Constitution. What I have to apologize to people. Yes, yes, I'd like to apologize. Not really apologize, but I did not know about this article, the amendment article, all along. We never knew about it. It's Mr. Parker, as Yang also asking if I knew about the amendment. And he just said, you sent that question back to Yang, who said Secretary General twice. I never knew about the amendment. What I said, Parker and Mr. George filed for dismissal of the case, and Kima, the lawyer, found the amendment, and they knew about it after the case was dismissed. They did not come back to the association to tell them, oh, there's a problem with the Constitution. The case was dismissed because there was an amendment that was made in 2011 that does not have members, and they've been keeping it to themselves. So it's only today. I think Mr. Logan talked about it the last time, I think last week, and today we are talking about it again. So what prevented Parker and Mr. George after getting to know about this amendment that was made? And I also said that the family and Mr. George, who wrote the Constitution, did not do the community justice, because the amendment was done in 2011 and the Constitution they wrote went into effect in 2012. So in writing a Constitution, I said either they did it out of ignorance, or it's a copy and paste Constitution, or they wanted to deceive the people in the community. Because such amendment that was done in 2011, I believe at that time they were drafting the Constitution.
And it was adopted. It was adopted on May 10th.
Adopted in May. In May. So they should have a copy of that Constitution and infuse that in, a copy of the amendment, infuse that in the Constitution. But they misled the entire community. They misled everybody, calling people members, asking people to pay dues. Even when I came into office, Mr. Jan Vudel was the Secretary General. We never had any document. We put together a membership form that some people filled out. I have those forms now to my house. Filling out a membership form, as we got on the membership form, because it's one of the requirements to be an active member. So I never knew about it. So I'd like to apologize to the people. I never knew about this. Yeah, Mr. Jibon Smith, you guys said things that day, especially about Richard. But Richard came with some World Trade document and showed to the Election Commission to convince them that he was not chased, all of that. He did not run away from Liberia. Richard is a fugitive. Richard and others were accused for stealing up to $1 million from FIB Bank, which the bank later sold to SIB Bank. And that bank went bankrupt. President Joseph Yuma Bwaka had taken $8 million of our money and have to pay SIB Bank because Richard and others stole from the bank. So Richard criminal act affected every Liberian. That $8 million who have done so many things for Liberia. JFK today does not have CT scan. They do not have MRI how you call it, scan. That $8 million who have bought so many things and pay our teachers, those volunteer teachers. But Richard Boyer, who were accused for stealing the $1 million from FIB Bank, escaped from Liberia. He's a fugitive. He cannot go back, and the guy is very inept. And that behavior, you can still see it in Richard Boyer. Richard caused Liberia, and Richard and others caused Liberia up to $8 million. That could have done so many things for Liberia. Mr. Melvin George and Mr. Gabler said whether I will restitute the association money. I don't owe the association a damn. I took the association to court. They decided to go for a lawyer and pay a lawyer if they feel the woman they restitute the money, then they take me to court. Yeah, Julius Parker and his clique take me to court. I don't owe any money. NAI is a fraud. NAI is deceptive. That the family, Mr. Initial George, deceived this community by putting a constitution together. Based on the constitution, that's why I went to court. And later the court came out to say, NAI does not have members. I don't have a standing because I'm not a member. There is no member. NAI does not have member. I never knew about the non-membership.
And Robert, you know something?
What?
They say, according to its amended article adopted on May 10, 2011, the association should have no members. See Exhibit 1. See Exhibit 1, Article 4, Article 5, Section 4 of the 2011 Constitution. Then, surprisingly, the current Constitution we have, Article 5 or no Section 4.
Yeah, no Section 4, exactly. So I say either they did not do due diligence, they did not do the research before putting the constitution together, or the copies another association constitution, or they decided to deceive the Liberian people in Indiana to take the money from them, for which now nobody can use the constitution to hold any elected official accountable for corruption or violation of constitution.
Then we need a 2011 constitution then. Because I think that's why the state and the court stay honor. They don't honor. They are not honoring this constitution we have. We need a 2011 constitution.
Exactly.
All right.
The constitution is a fraud.
Yes, this current one we have.
It's a fraud.
So we got to go back to the 2011 that were adopted on May 10th.
Why do you ask people for money? I think what the administrator needs to do now, they should not ask anybody to pay due. They should set up a constitutional review committee. And after reviewing the constitution, taking into consideration the court ruling, and after that, give it to a lawyer. Either I got money, pay a lawyer to review the whole constitution and make sure the constitution is in line with Indiana non-for-profit law.
Okay, thank you, Jeremiah. You want to come in?
Yes. So Mr. Carey, basically, I'm in studio to ask few concerning questions, and I will just do like with Phil maybe or somebody, I'll just do like 1 or 2, maybe like 5 to 10 minutes post analysis of your interview. My question here have to do with first of all, I want to say I want to congratulate you for your term with LAR. The complication with LAR is not for people that have that high level of intellectual capacity, because if you always come in with LAR for change, you get still resistance. And I side with you, really feel your pain for the level of denigration you receive in the community marginalizations that you have received over the period of time for taking your own individual stand to sue the organization for what you believe is against the will of the people. But sometimes the people you speak for are the very same people that go against you. That's normal. Democracy is always not fair. So I really say sorry, and I feel your pain. I heard about your resignation. For some of us who believe in the strength and the unity of this organization, we are not happy, because within AI, you don't find a lot of competent people. You find noise makers, but you won't find competent people. So for the few competent people like you that have come and stretched the mark and push a pen for the organization to be living in such a manner is very denigrating. And for some of us, it's a lesson learned. My first question for you is that I know you guys won these elections on a very, very competitive elections, and you came into work to prove. Do you think you were used as a collateral in the entire alleged corruption scheme that go around LAR? Do you really think you were used as a collateral in the process?
I think I was thrown under the bus by Mr. Parker because they saw I was not of the same fellow with them. I did not. I'm a person that you cannot bend. I stand for a principle. I'm a principle-minded person, and I dare to speak the truth, nothing but the truth. So help me God. And if I see things going wrong, I speak out. And if you don't want to listen, I bring it to the public. And if the board try to collude, I take it to the court as I did. But I don't feel I will use as a collateral. You know, for every job I go to, as I said, I go with passion. And the secretary had been down for so long, for over 6 years. So 2 elections we have, chaos in the election because no documentation, no attendance record because the person who was serving as Secretary General was just there making noise, was not putting document together. So as soon as I came in the office, I said to the secretary, and Vani Kamo, who is the board chair today, he was member of that secretary and all our committee heads. So we started to put things into order. The first time in the history of ADR that every appointed members were given a written letter. So we brought all those things to the table and decided to follow the Constitution. So when other people started to deviate from the Constitution, we called into order. So I don't have any regret. I don't see that I was used as a collateral. I just see that these people are corrupt people, and they myself, our principle is far apart. I cannot work along with them.
The reason I asked that question is that you identify your stance on issues and your way of working do not align with them. And I asked that question to say, do they use you as a Secretary General as a face to gain votes? Because after then everything went way war against you. And I know as a Secretary General, I know what you can do. I know the kind of pen pushing you can do. I know you don't defend artificial intelligence because your ratings must talk the same way you speak when you're speaking, So I know you're now AI guy. So you speak and you read align with what you're speaking. So I know your ability. That's why I asked that question if you're used as a collateral, because seeing the face, like Carey on the ballot as a Secretary General, attract a lot of people. The record will be kept well. That's why I asked that question.
The people feel at the time, that even those from both sides of the aisle during the election, they feel that Eddie does not have record on 2 occasions. In 2019, Eddie was sent into chaos 2019 election because there was no attendance record, no meetings, no attendance record, no document to show. And 2022, I think you serve as election commissioner chair, you experienced the same thing. There was no document. And when I decided when Federal persuaded me to come and serve as Secretary General, everybody was glad and happy. Even most of those who speak against me today, try to denigrate me, they were all happy. And yes, I will use as a face. And if you know you are the chairman, I had the highest vote in that election to show you that people saw that I had so much to bring to the table. That's why I got the highest vote, more than Parker, more than anybody in the election. So I overwhelmingly voted for the mandate. I got the mandate from the people, not from anybody. That's why I got the highest vote in the whole election, because people from both sides of the aisle voted for me. So my face alone on the ballot, and people ran on it to get elected. And I can say.
And Mr. Carey, when the famous lawsuit in this community came about, a lot of people were criticized. A lot of people knew it was scandal that they were working with you. They were in the workings of the things you were doing to sue the organization. So few people got marginalized in the process. Can you clarify some of, you don't have to call people name, but were you actually working with a team, or it was just a rumors? Because the narrative out there is that you have a team, people were having meetings to tear down the association. And I want for you to clear the air that, if people were having meetings, if you were in total consultation and how you were doing these things, because it's so abnormal for our people to go to court with the organization. They see that you are the troublemaker and you have a group of troublemakers that are working along with you. How can you just clear that narrative?
This lawsuit was done single-handedly, I alone. Even when I filed a lawsuit on the 12th of January, nobody knew about the lawsuit. Nobody knew about it until Parker received his letter in the mail, and he carried to an administrative meeting before the news started to spread all around that there's a lawsuit. Nobody knew about this, and they were not convening meeting with people. Yes, people pledged their support, that supported the lawsuit, but I was not having meeting with people to bring down the association. I was not trying to bring down the association. I was just trying to make show that things are done right in the association and stop certain things from happening and make sure the association money is saved and spent in accordance with the constitution, which was not being done.
So how do you feel now? Do you feel vindicated?
Oh yes, I feel proud to take the case to court. I feel proud of that because their lawsuit have brought so many things up that people know today they are not members of LAI. They have been deceived. LAI have been taking money from them, calling them members, which of course they are not members. That they cannot take LAI to court and the court will throw their case out and say they are not members. They can bring a lawsuit against LAI. So many things have been learned from the lawsuit. It's a landmark lawsuit, and I hope those around that will still be in LAI we follow the case here and make the necessary correction and make sure the organization come back on course and make it a better one. But the constitution is a deceptive one, and the court has shown this.
Just generally, my question to you is, taking yourself from being the plaintiff to being like the people or the community dwellers, do you feel in your mind that this entire shenanigan around LAI is alleged scam, deceiving people? And what, I mean, I know because of the lawsuit, but what will you say to people who are still tearing down walls, going against people for LAI? What do you have to say to them? Because there are some people out there like a watchdogs and bulldogs. They consider LAI like the personal property. Nobody should speak. Nobody should speak to the leadership. Nobody should vent out. They will come for you. You know, and I believe they are also deceived. Like there's so many of us that have been deceived over the years, but they will not catch themselves because they are too humble and you know. So how do you see it? What do you have to say about this entire shenanigans that are going on? That there's an organization that exists, but you and I will not member, but we're hosting elections, we're holding people accountable, we're going to the pool, we're cooking, we're going to a park, we're going into people's wallets and taking money, and the very money you pay, you do not have a word to it. You know, I try to understand that. It sounds so funny and confusing to me. Can you elaborate?
Yeah, the whole court case from the court ruling it shows that LAI is a fraud. LAI is a deceit. LAI been deceiving the people because people join LAI based on the Constitution. They pay their dues based on the Constitution because LAI in the Constitution refer to them as members. Meanwhile, they are not members. And people pay their money. They cannot hold the administration accountable. And other people running around making loud noise. People go to election and this. So I say LAI is operating. If they operate on the Constitution, a lot of things they are doing are illegal. So the Constitution is in violation of Indiana non-for-profit or organization by referring to people as member and telling them they pay due. That's deceptive. That's fraud. That's criminal.
And my final question, if I can go to Philip, who do you blame and where do we go from here? What are our first step to making the corrective effort? But who do you blame before?
My blame will go to the crafter of the Constitution, Dr. Famuda and his team that crafted this Constitution, because the amendment is calling the LAI does not have members was done in May of 2011. And during that time, the Constitution, 2012 Constitution, I think it was drafted by the end of that year. And it went into effect in 2012. So we've been operating the Constitution. And what I said, either they wrote the Constitution out of ignorance, or they copy and paste other people's Constitution, or they decided to deceive the people to take the money, the people money from them, referring to them as members. Meanwhile, the people are not members. But you say, oh, remember, you got to pay a membership due. Now the court have revealed that we are all not members. So it's a deceit.
All right, guys. We have with us now. We have Dr. Saleh Senior. So that one on the screen here, that is son. So we have Dr. Saleh Senior here.
I see it.
Yeah, Pastor, go ahead.
Slow.
No, Mr. Sade, can you just mute the TV? He having a play-by effect because he watching it on the TV.
Oh.
Yeah. Can you hear me, Mr. Can you hear me, Dada Sade?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, just mute the TV because other than that, it will be confusing you because the TV having a little delay.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
Hello?
Yeah, we can hear you now. We can hear you.
Okay. I have a couple of questions here. Mr. Carey, according to your introductory remarks, and I follow you very well, and I heard that you were actually tied by a couple of people to be part of the leadership. But at some point, you found out that Parker dismissed from being a vice president to a candidate, which Miko were not feeling happy. They too take your action against Parker based on the backslack to Miko. Quote unquote, were you planted in Parker administration as a seed to leak executive information? Question number one. Question number two. The two people that agreed to be an independent auditor when you discovered that made him into the association funding, what was the reason that they gave that the board refused them? Were they up to date with the Liberian due payment and membership? Because I know you cannot audit an organization that you're not part of. If you're not paying your due, you cannot be a fair auditor. So did they give you the reason of the board action? Question number two. Question number three. When we talk about political activities, and then while we are targeting one issue like what is in the Liberian Association, then you jump on Boya past history in Liberia. They took base your action on Parker and Boya because of Boya history you know from Liberia. I want to stop there and wait for the redress. Then we'll go back.
Okay. Thank you, Pop. So you have to address it because when he addressing the question, you will not hear him. Because
that's why I had the TV on when you say
okay, yeah, you can put the TV on now and just mute your phone.
Okay.
Okay. There will be a little delay effect for you, but yes, you grab a response. Go ahead, Mr. Carey.
Yeah, his first question, whether I was planted by Miko, because the way Parker treated Miko, I'll say no. Miko is more close to Parker than me. That happened before the election. Miko felt bad about it. But Miko had been friends with the Parkers. Miko is not close to me. So I was not planted there by Miko or anybody. That's my principle. I speak truth to power. I speak the truth. I make sure that the right thing is being done. If it's not done, I come and make sure that's done and speak out. And two, you said, what's the second question? Whether I didn't write it. What is the second question? You said that.
Okay. He will call back. Jeremiah, you understood the second question?
I didn't get the second question.
You were asking about Richard Boya.
Richie, I was just trying to link Richie with Parker, the same behavior, because Parker was spending the association money, taking the money, signing check in his own name, and taking money from the account. And Richard did similar thing that in Liberia as alleged, and he had to run from Liberia. So I just trying to link them that they are of the same feather, they flop together, and I'm not of them, so I cannot flop with them. So that's just trying to link them, how both of them are corrupt.
Okay.
Mr. Carey.
I said it, yeah?
No, yeah, I have a question.
Okay, go ahead.
So my thing is that
the Papa will come back.
You said Richie and Mr. Parker has similar dealings, you know what I mean? But prior to that, do you know any history of Mr. Parker being into any malpractices and corruption? Because you guys were with the Men Association, you guys were in other organizations.
There was rumor during the election, the 2022 election. There was rumor that Parker, Parker was financial secretary to Penham, who was the president. There was rumor that Parker and Penham was spending the association money to even pay Penham rent. During the election, I remember all over the place.
That's a huge
allegation. One of the persons that worked in the administration admitted it, but I know he won't say it now because he's a secret fan. He admitted that they were borrowing our money, giving it as loan to people in the community, and that. So when other people told me about it, but I didn't believe it. So when I got into the administration, I came to the administration with an eagle eye to see what people were saying. It's true about Parker. So when Parker started to mismanage the association fund, taking checks, signing in, and taking money from the account, then I said to myself, the rumor may be true. But all along in the Liberian Men Association, Parker was not financial secretary. He had no access to the Liberian Association men money. So there was no way, but LAI, he had direct access to the money. He got the bank book, he got one of the bank books, and Fatih got one. So he can sign check anytime, take money from the account, and anytime. That's why.
Sorry, the case is basically based on financial malpractices. But
yes,
Fatima, who is a financial secretary, I see you now putting a lot of emphasis on her. You put most of the emphasis on the president and the vice president. Secondly, just wait. Secondly, to that effect, do you only look at financial malpractices? Do you look at competency in this leadership? Because your issue is corruption and money. Are they also competent to lead this organization? So I just asking this question because maybe you can be financial malpractice can be there, but they have the capability and the ability to move and draft the organization forward. So I mean,
Parker is not a leader. A good leader can look at people in the face and tell them the fact. If you get your honor man, those he appointed, a committee head going wrong, and you cannot look them in the face to tell them why you are doing, you are proceeding wrongly. You're afraid to tell them. Sometimes people do things. We come to him and talk to him about it. Oh, you say, I will talk to that person. I will talk to that person. I'll talk to that person. The vice president do things so many times. Talk to the VP. You cannot talk to the VP. You're afraid to look the man in the eye and tell him the fact. So such a person cannot lead an organization. You cannot lead a community. You cannot lead any organization because a good leader should look at people in the face when they go wrong and tell them you're proceeding wrongly and try to correct them. But if you cannot look at people in the eye, as for Richard is very inept. Richard is a person that's supposed to work with all committees. That's his duty in the Constitution. But he's not doing that. If you want to know how Richard are very inept, when Parker lost his son and he went on leave, all the time Richard was acting president, nothing he did. Nothing. So they don't have the capability to lead. Parker, He's not a leader. He can't look people in the face and tell them you're proceeding wrongly. And a leader is supposed to do that.
So Fatima is in a very tight position because I worked with Fatima before.
No,
She
Fatima
had
have been caught in the web.
By the way, when I worked with Fatima had a very not of quality, right? I worked with
The
Fatima.
reason I'm emphasizing
before becoming financial secretary. And I don't know what's going on. I'm not in the leadership. I don't even around anybody within the leadership. I don't want to be in that kind of environment. But what I'm saying here is Fatima has always been a hard-working person for the association before she get to this position. And with this position, there's a lot of things that come up about her name. But I would not want to be the one to put her name out there.
Fatima is not a financial person. That's the problem. She's not a financial person. And Parker will claim to be the financial person. He been misleading of Fatima. So he entangled Fatima in his corruption web. So I'm emphasizing more on Parker because the Constitution says the president and one of the other signatories should sign on every check. But Parker got Fatima signing check alone. He's Parker to signing check alone. So the emphasis is on Parker because every check that Fatima signed, he's supposed to sign on that check before he can go through to the bank.
Philip, sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
When you refer to the Constitution, like the Constitution says you want two signatories, the very same Constitution that was debunked in the court, the same very Constitution that have misled us. Is that the same Constitution you still quoting?
Yes, the Constitution, based on the Constitution, I went to court. I went to court based on the Constitution. I never knew about the amendment. We all just getting to know about the amendment that was made that we are all not members.
When you done it,
so the Constitution is fraud. The Constitution that deceived the entire community. And what I said from the beginning, the Constitution is deceptive. And those who wrote the Constitution did not do diligence. They did not check to do a research. They either copied the Constitution from somewhere, or they did it out of ignorance, or they decided to deceive the Liberian people in Indiana.
Okay, that's it. Go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you now. Very clear.
Okay. The other question that was not addressed was whether he can actually verify the two people who wanted to be an independent auditor, but
okay,
we're not.
Yeah.
That question is kind of, you're not going to put me on the video. But I have another question that I want you to actually.
You got a question? You got a question?
Yeah, to verify those two people that applied to serve.
Yes, I got a question I want to maybe at another time you can discuss about. This question is: he was a secretary general, and
I am the secretary general.
In his preview as custodian of records for our organization or association, he should know that the assembly has power over the board. But then, when he reached the board, he did not find redress. Why was he taking off to lead over the assembly to go straight to court?
Yeah, Pastor, I did that based on the Constitution. The Constitution said if I need redress, I should go to the board, and the board is supposed to take the issue to the assembly. And the board refused to take it to the assembly, and Parker has the authority, according to the Constitution, to call meeting. And Parker was not calling meeting. The board could not come up with a ruling in the matter. And I waited for 45 days, Pastor. 45 days after we had the conference. And they said they want to come back, get back to me. And I waited and waited and waited. There was no meeting call for me to go to the assembly to present my case. The board who I went to for redress, according to the Constitution, did not take it to the assembly. So I had our level no option but to run to the court. So I was acting in accordance with the Constitution.
And but right now, as you speak to Logan Hours, you are speaking to the member of the assembly within the Indiana committee. Why did you decide at this time, after a year plus, to come to tell all that these are the reasons that you base your action on, instead of using Logan Hours to blow bigger whistle so we all can be in the know of what was going on. Do you know if it is true that what you say that the organization? Do you know the time you took to tell all this, to bring up this information? Do you know what damage have been done if it's true that it's happening? Is your action helpful at the later hour, or will it have been helpful to us at that initial hour?
Yeah, Pastor, it could have been helpful if I knew at the time. It's Parker and Mr. Initial George who found out that the organization amended a constitution that we shall not have no members. They found that amendment. They did not inform the assembly. They had meeting. Even at that time, they did not inform the.
Robert got kicked out, so he's going to come back, Pastor. When he come back, I will place a call to you, Pastor.
Okay.
All right. Thank you so much. So Jeremiah, you won't be addressing the Papi question. Why Robert going to come back? You are muted, Jerry.
You know, the old man asked his question, and it is Robert that is in a hard seat to answer his question.
Somebody call him just a second. Let me see.
I can't answer for Robert.
Hello.
Hey, bro, Logan, this is Pastor Chris.
Hey, Pastor Chris, how are you?
I'm good. How is it?
I'm okay. Oh. Robert just went off just now. I think he's going to join us shortly.
Okay.
Yeah. But if you want to pose a question to him directly, then I can wait when he comes out. Then I'm going to pose a question to you directly too.
Well, I don't know. Did we take a question? I don't think mine is a question.
Okay, yeah. Then you can make your comment or whatever.
All right. Am I on?
Yeah, you are live. I will call you back, caller. Go ahead, Pastor Chris.
Okay. Good evening, everybody. Good evening to the studio guest. Mr. Carey, thank you, Mr. Logan, and also Mr. Sele for being in there. I think from what is unfolding in the community is troubling, and every one of us, it's embarrassing.
Yeah,
it's actually embarrassing. At this point, we all been screwed up.
Yeah,
and blaming everybody but ourselves sometimes it sounds funny.
It's true.
And we should have caught this, but you know, we were so engrossed into politics, we did not catch it. Every one of us.
It's true.
To know that we are operating an entity that we are not member of. Who is a member of that entity? We don't know.
Yeah.
We're just paying money, going to elections. So everything we've been doing literally is being in violation.
Yeah.
So when you come out to say, oh, two people got to sign, the president got to do this, the vice president got to do this, secretary got to do that, everything is in violation because it's a group that we are not member of. So I think we should be seeking a way forward. If this is true, then it means the entire LAI should be dissolved and a new organization is formed with the right kind of document that will be able to incorporate the entire community. Because we operate in some document that doesn't make sense.
It's true.
So I think the way forward, we should be pushing for the way forward instead of sitting and dwelling or crying over spilled milk, because the milk is already out there.
I agree.
We have an institution that we are not member of, but we've been fooling ourselves.
I agree.
Going around here and so on. Y'all send my due back, please. you know. So there are a lot of things going on. It's like, I feel ashamed. Excuse me for expression. I feel stupid.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm not educated and nothing at the time, because you know what? We've been just going into this thing, not knowing. Philly contested.
Yes.
I'm not member into the election.
That's the thing.
Jeremiah Philly was pushing us over there as election commission chairman as non-member. I served as former election commission a member over there as non-member.
Non-member,
we all did everything in our community as non-member.
Yeah.
Did you as non-members?
Yes.
So my people, let's call a spill. We are all in error. We know the people that wrote the Constitution. They corrupt us going to speak of. So at this point, that entire organization be dissolved.
Yeah.
And a new organization is formed. Instead of wasting our time going here, there, yonder.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't make any sense. We can talk for now tomorrow morning. the organization, we are not member of the organization, so we're making us. Let's
right.
dissolve this one and form another one.
You're right. You're right.
So my people, we're sorry. All of us will say sorry because that's where it started. We're all going to say sorry because we hold ourselves responsible for not reading the Constitution word for word, letter by letter, and so on. When we were on the
Constitution,
it's not in the Constitution.
We expected that Constitution to be fully reviewed.
Yeah,
it
but Pastor Chris, the problem with the Constitution,
the
Constitution that was amended May 10, 2011, and in our Constitution, they says that the organization have no member. But now the current Constitution we have, that Constitution do not have Article 5, Section 4. It don't have Section 4. It only have Section 3. So if you use that current Constitution and take anybody to court, you don't have Section 4. So the people are going to bring the old Constitution and say, see, the other Constitution has Section 4. Say we don't have no member.
So you see, this where the problem is. This is where I always told them the commies or government they ran in Indiana is corrupt. So they should not come here. So there's a common still. The day they were pushing this common agenda, and I see they want to do it our country. So you see what they did is that.
But
Constitution they carry to court. To prove something.
That's the thing. That's what
happened. So that's the corruption that took place right in the middle there. Carey went to court with a new constitution. And the guy said, no, that constitution is not good. Just the old constitution. Go back the time we founded. This is the constitution. So the court is ruling based upon the old constitution.
Of course. And the court is not wrong.
No, it's not. And so the Kume administration are disappointed the Indiana community. So we just need to dissolve the entire.
No, it's not a Kume administration. It's a proper administration. That amendment was done. We cancel this time.
Thank you so much,
that
Pastor
administration.
All right, so that's Pastor Chris. Let's get this last quarter. Then we'll get back to the paper because the paper been calling out that the
Kume's administration exposed everything.
Okay, let's get this person. Then we'll go back to Tata Sele. Just a second. Then we'll go back to Tata Sele. Okay, you're ringing.
Mr. Logan.
Go ahead, Mr. Smith.
Okay.
Yeah, you are live. You are live.
Okay. So there is a truth that's going to come out, and it's going to be very hurtful. Based on the old constitution that was used to dismiss this lawsuit, that constitution was not given to others. The constitution was given to people, even including me. That section was not included. So that falls in the line of fraud because according to Indiana law, if you're going to use, you got a document and then you omit part of that document and then you give something else to someone else, it falls in the line of fraud. And then what's going to happen is this. There's a possibility that if there is no members, there's a shareholder. So that means everyone that ever paid due in LAR are still entitled. Because they are shareholders. So now it's another thing that's going to come up. This group of people that's leading them, they either start doing their homework and start reimbursing everybody, or drafting something and saying this is the amount you put in there. And as a shareholder, you're not going to get something back, either with profit.
Oh yeah, my God, no profit.
Because this can lead to a class action lawsuit.
Oh yeah.
And this time around will not just be LAR and Carey. You will have everyone who ever paid money in there under the fraudulent disguise as they were paying as members, whereby they were not. And let me put it this way. In quoting from Indiana, something I'll try to break it down. Fraud is a false representing one's identity or position.
So LAR constitution that they presented to the court and the one they presented to the community, which I still have a copy of, they falsely represented that we are coming in as members, whereby we are not.
Yes, that's why they presented to us.
And acting in a character of opposition, thus unlawfully assumed to deceive others. That is deception now. If that deception was intentionally and knowingly, there where now it will be coming from, because this time around, if it's a class action lawsuit, there are higher legal and monetary consequences. And a lot of people should be interested in it, because now it's not going to be dismissed. So the 10,000 they pay to that law firm, they can either we start settling this thing and start disbursing people refunds to them, or we can drag it to court and it will be paying more money. This time around, if you ever pay to the LR, you are entitled to something. Whether you want to put money in it or not, you are entitled to something. So let the Liberians in Indiana listen and pay attention to that. You know, instead of gain a profit, to deceive others and thereby gain a profit or advantage, enjoy some right or privilege, or subject another person or entity to an expense or charge or liability that would have not have otherwise been incurred. What are some of the expense? You pay money for something, you pay money for park day, you pay money for those things, those charges, the liability and all that, under the guise of membership. That this is textbook black and white fraud. So fraud. Like Pastor Chris was saying, the whole thing has to be dissolved, because it's either the willingness to dissolve it and rewrite it and do it rightly, or a class action lawsuit can force it to be dissolved, and the money will be reimbursed to everybody that ever paid, because there's under the Indiana Association of Organizations laws, especially when we talk about 501c, which I'm not sure if ever has status on that. It's either having membership or having shareholders. So
because even in the argument, the motion to dismiss the case, they mention it under the argument. They say on Indiana TR 23-1 and Indiana case law, shareholder and members of a corporation may a non-for-profit corporation such as the Liberian Association of Indiana is not required to have a member, rather than they should have a shareholder.
Good. So as a shareholder, your money you put into something, it doesn't just go away because you don't pay dues or you start paying money. It's not explicitly written. And once it is not explicitly written that way, so that old constitution that they use, I hope, Barrow, if there's a way we can have a copy of that, so that those who are interested in a class action lawsuit can take it to their own law firm now.
They got it in their exhibits.
Okay, we want the whole thing. So there's no surprises anymore. If we can lay hold, if anyone have that original copy, that will have that in it, please bring it to light. Because now this will be taken to another law firm, so that legal minds, so they can go through it now, so there is no more surprises. And I can guarantee you, those who like the fries, keep back, grab a cup of coffee or tea or wine, whatsoever you like to drink, and enjoy the fun, because it will be very, very good.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So there you have it. There you have it. Go ahead, Mr. Jeremiah Sule. I know this thing is turning into something different.
So from my own personal analysis of what's going on is that we all been duped.
Yeah, like what Mr. Chris said.
I regretted my time, not regretting my time because it's a service to community, but I regretted being steady and being knowing I'm a fool, I'm an ignorant person, and competing and arguing with people irrelevantly of something I don't have entitlement to. That's very bad. We go into elections, we take off time to spare elections, we make elections laws. We go there, we have 5 programs, and there are few people just sitting. And let me say this, anytime people say wars in the streets, follow after them. Before Carey sued this organization, when so many irregularities happen within AI, you say you angry, you say I will sue the organization. A few people can say you're not going nowhere. Your lawsuit will not go anywhere. And they will say
they knew what it did. They knew what it did.
They will say in your face with confidence And there are other people who are very cunning and crafted in behavior, right? What they will do is that when you trying to know more about the association and try to act like you smart, if you guys are working together as a group, they will split you. They will take the weaker guys to themselves and bring them closer and say, "Oh, I love these ones. These ones are the most powerful ones."
You know who do that? Dr. Family, according Dr. Family is one of them. Dr. Family. He wrote the Constitution.
Yes.
So he don't tell people that because he knew what he did.
Exactly. And what happened is that when you guys are forceful or you're working as a team, they will split you guys and say, "Oh, this one want to add it is so smart." So the weaker guys will always be on the side of those that are corrupting us or corrupting the community, and they will feed on the favoritism among the young people. They will favor you because, oh, this one is the one that speaks for us. This one is the one that respect the older people. But we all been deceived by the very same older people that have been here so long. We all been made fool of. Because if I've ever known that I'm paying my dues and this is what's going on, I would not even be wasting my time.
Exactly.
Because to even hear an alternative of the organization is to dissolve the organization, it seems misleading. After all these years of investment, we are going to the place of real restructuring the organizations. And let me say this before I give the floor to Carey. This is what has happened in this community, right? The older generation, because I don't want to say older folks, both young and older people, those that have been here back in the days when AI started, those that embedded organizations to this level, right? I see some kind of fear within them. What I'm saying is that every time you want to make a corrective measure with LAR, you will have hindrances. You will have problems. Anytime you want in the organization, you say, I will give an example. How many times we talk about rewriting this constitution? The first group of people that started to read the constitution, young people, they received stiff resistance.
Yeah.
And it was during Rufus Tati administration. It was a battling Ducha and stuff. Certain people decided to read the new constitution, they received stiff resistance. And I can tell you, I don't want to be calling names because I don't want to make other people look bad, but the previous board members were against those that were writing that constitution day in, day out. They didn't even prefer alternative to help them. They stood against it, it didn't go nowhere. When this administration came in, I personally asked if I can help with writing the constitution as my contribution to Mr. Parker King. That's one of the least things Mr. Parker paid attention to, because Mr. Parker and his conduits and his conings of friends knew that I was wasting my time. And I think I was just trying to do an honest job. But I think they knew better than some of us. So they was not putting the constitution, rewriting the constitution or reinventing the constitution as an alternative for this leadership. They only use it as a political maneuver to gravitize vote, to get votes. They said we'll change the constitution, but when they get there, they don't mention the constitution. So this case coming up, we all have been fooled over the years. We all have been made little. With the little level of education we have, I think we have been made, we all made fool of ourselves. But not asking these basic questions, but attacking each other's, getting on the political divide, creating enemies, fighting for something that we are not even members of. So all of the people that has issue with me from LA, you can forgive me because we all been used.
Yeah, we all been used, including me.
Forgive me and forgive you because we all been used. As as election commission, I take a lot of bread in this community. Up to now, some people have a problem with me. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, if I knew we are not members, why are we even going to elections? Why are we even engaging into electoral activities? What are we stressing? You know what I mean? So my brother, Carey, even though the lawsuit was looking like something that you did that was bad to this community, but it exposed a lot of things for which I felt the day I sat on the Logan show and say I support the lawsuit because suing somebody is not a crime.
Court is a
court is not a crime. It's to make clarity. We said it over and over and again. Some people thought that taking Carey's side was the worst thing we have ever done. See what it led to. See what I'm saying? So we all have to just come together as a people and find an alternative plan. But Mr. Carey, it is sad that a potential man like you will be caught in the web. Our potential man that you will walk away from the association that you plan to set so
And you
dirty.
know, I'm looking at this article of amendment to the article of incorporation. It was signed by Casa Dennis.
Yeah, Casa Dennis period.
Yeah, he was
Casa
the president at the time.
at the time.
And I'm looking at it right now because it's on. Seeing the exhibits that were filed to the court.
But I said, yeah. On our Casa, I didn't know about that.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now.
You don't know your secretary at that time.
I didn't know anything about that. I didn't know anything about that. I just found it out today, and you will be surprised. I work with Mr. Casa Dennis. I love Mr. Casa Dennis because he's one of those. But even working with Mr. Dennis don't never feel comfortable with me up to now. Saying it on a platform, you know, certain things people don't want you to know. They will not be comfortable with you. They will not use you. You know, they will use the other people they think they can use to do other things. I'm telling you. So imagine our service to the community when you want to expose certain people. Now, they Carey now. A lot of people saw Carey as a bad guy. As a very
if
bad
I was not consistent and somebody was a principal, I don't want to take a case to court.
Yeah.
People are fighting me. Not to take a case to court, but I'm a male principal.
And then what we're going to run the association for the next 30 years. Not knowing we are member. For the next 30 years. So
when I raise my $300,000 in one project, come and take that money and go. You can't do nothing to the person and say, oh, you're not a member.
So I think we just need to go back to the drawing board. From my own point is for us to go back to the drawing board and see. But for me personally, Carey resign. But for me, I take a sabbatical with LAR. I personally take a sabbatical. I take a leave. And this my leave is to concentrate on the things that matter more. I can't be part of something I'm not a member of. I don't have say, you know. So what's the benefit at the end of the day? You know, we do things for benefits. If it's come for us as a people to come together and craft something, and they need an input, we can come around. But there's no need for all of this entire cloud over the community. It don't benefit anybody. It just bring us down as a people. It just ugly, you know.
Take money from people.
Yeah.
Let a lot of people just make a final comment so we can just get out of here. Papi, go ahead. Dr. Celia?
Yeah.
Go ahead. We can hear you.
Okay. We are not part of organization and we don't have membership.
Yes.
According to Article 4.
Yes.
Okay, then as somebody was talking about, if we don't have membership, we have shareholder.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But there's no share certificate. Nobody in the Indiana membership here can produce one share certificate.
That's the thing. So nobody issues share
So
certificate.
nobody can get anything. So you forget about that.
So everybody start over.
Oh yes.
The Bible suggests that everybody start over.
The fact that
so what will happen with the money
the fact that we give charity, the fact that we are not profit organization, those are the activity of no charitable organization. The fact that we have entertainment, the fact that we have other or bereavement, all those are no charitable organization.
So it was just a charitable donations.
Yes. Okay. So whatever you put in, you put in as a citizen of Liberia living in Indiana, you were put to be to charitable organization. So that will settle that. So don't go into any kind of thing that you say you're gonna see read there with code and you were not gonna know where no one share certificate will issue to anybody. A shareholder should have a valuable share certificate given to you that this is your share value per this end or per this percent of share you put in.
So
if the people that pay dues.
If this is a voluntary donation, then why are we mandated to attend meeting and we forced to pay this money? Because this money seems as false. If you don't pay, you'll be removed. If you don't pay, this will happen.
And that is because we did not know of that particular.
So this is a precedent case now that open everybody out.
We did not know. And that particular code, if I should be clear enough, that section 4 that has been secluded, from all the other one that was handed over, We don't know how it happened. And I don't buy it if it happened.
Yes, and currently our current constitution that we have, it don't have section 4. It's up to section 3 chapters, and that's where it ends. It jumps through to section 5. Let me say
so
section
it's
6.
left with when I told my nephew there in studio that why he did not blow this action to the bowl instead of going to court, because if he had blown the action to the bowl or to looking hour or to open table, I think other people could have fall in line.
Yeah.
And even I went with Parker for long. I got to know Boya for some time. I got to know Carey for some time in the Liberian Association. And I admire Parker keeping good record, and I voted for him, and I will vote for him if he had to go for another time. And if because I know a good man can change. But the idea of waiting, what I press on Secretary General, knowing the Constitution, if he has come to the assembly and said, this is what the poet me. I think some level-headed people, I'm not saying I'm level-headed, but I could have seen that I want to listen to him. I want to listen to him, and we could have handled this thing instead of going to court. Because we went to court, why I said that we lost. Whatever way we lost. You sue Parker, you say you not sue association, you still sue the association, but Parker is the head of the association. And Parker will not spend his money for the association. If Parker spent 1 cent on a court case, it is not community loss. So I don't see it as good for us. Even though I hate the idea of if we the let's forget about that team and go with chicken. I don't look at that as a way, but I look at a way that we can find the only person that can now go on the dialogue table to discuss things, to come up with good solution, is the person who don't have ideas. Fighting always on the dialogue table. Rebel activities on the dialogue table. If you get me to start on the dialogue table, get me to start on that. If you cannot get me to get call bigger noise, let other people get involved.
That's true.
So,
but perhaps since you are the elders of the community, I will ask you to please ask Mr. Parker and Mr. Initial George to provide a copy of this 2011 Constitution for the community as well.
But you are a president, Canada. You should have it.
I don't have it. Trust me.
Constitution were used to.
I know very well that Joseph Sele Jr. and other people were members of that committee, and the one they deliberated on that constitution. I will not.
And we have one of them on just now. Jivan Smith was part of that committee.
No, the one Joseph Sele Jr. wrote was not accepted.
So it should be up.
Okay,
everybody be informed. Everybody be informed.
So I just wanted to tell the group that right now nobody gets certificate. So you just forget about the lawsuit business and try to see how you can put together. You're the young people, you got energy in you to see how you can come together. Look, let me tell you. My uncle said there's one ship that cannot sail in the Liberian water is partnership.
Yeah.
That means that people don't go together to do anything good. And
somebody's supposed to take the lead, and that lead should be Parker.
Okay,
I'm begging you to put yourself together. If you can't put yourself together in your you're not going to put yourself together in Liberia. You'll be like that. Foreigner will tell your country, I have 3 years to live. I'm not praying for to die soon, but you got to learn to understand each other.
That's true, Pop.
They got 4 fingers. We got 4 fingers, 1 thumb. All of them are not equal, but they are all called fingers. So you have to use your knowledge, your fingers, and yourself together, and put your differences together, and stick to yourself.
So what do we go from here, Pop? Do we keep paying the dues as mandated, or what do we do from here? Do we go amend the Constitution, or what do we do now?
You are not mandated to pay anything. You pay voluntarily.
No, the constitution not say voluntarily.
Yeah, but constitution don't say so. But you know what I see. How you people are in different. You have your own political ambition, the other people have political ambition. But when they go party, when the last time when I was in a south side to the park, Independent Day, I saw you there.
Yeah.
You were taking picture.
Yes.
That was a Liberian Association program, and so.
Yes.
And you went there, you made the pay lively. You feel happy. When anything happens in the Liberian community, you go there, you do it. It's true. You go together as Liberian, you do it. Yeah. But when you go in your corner and sit down, you have differences. Do you think why will we be fighting in our different organizations? But when it comes to somebody bereavement or some graduation party or some mayor association party, we all go together. We do together. We are Liberian. We all Liberian. You have to have that proud other countries have in you that you are friendly. To have friends, is it only Liberia that tribalism does not have boundary? I'm a Roman man, I'm a crew woman.
Yeah.
My brother married Basa woman, my other brother married Global woman. Then we got other people marry our sister then. Okay. I went in different countries, and so that was very limited. But then when we still have this division. Why? So I bet your mom, you particular, you and your friend then. That man who talking about let him resign, he made mistake. Even though he want to put on iron jacket, he made mistake. Robert Carey, I don't expect that of you. You can't be learning, you feel to realize, to compromise certain things. Compromise. The best way to face the organization is to remain. Yeah, I will not fit it.
All right, that is it. Thank you so much, Pop.
Pastor, if I will compromise, we're going to be deceived for the next 30 years.
All right, Pop. Thank you so much. All right, let me bring this last person because I don't know if my memory can set me right. I don't want to predict, but I think one of those who work on the Constitution, Mr. Benedict Kofa.
Hey, Philip.
Mr. Kofa, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. I'm following the show and I feel a bit disappointed so much.
Go ahead, Mr.
And
Kofa.
the issue being discussed is there should be a way forward.
It's true.
It's not something that we can just brush up and say, oh, it's happening and this. I want you guys to be discussing what can we do now? What can be done?
I agree.
How can we correct the wrong? We should first of all identify who has been responsible for keeping the organization or the community in such darkness. Because if you guys or if you people knew about this act and kept it to themselves, that was a disservice to the organization.
It's true.
So we have to address that. We can't deceive ourselves that, oh, it's happening, let's put your aside. And tell Jeremiah he's not going to know the sabbatical. They have to stay. John,
by the way, Logan, that man taught me in school.
They can build consensus to address it.
Yes.
The community needs to understand what is at stake, what has happened.
It's true.
How does it affect our togetherness? They need to understand. Though the facts are out today, we need to first of all get another time, explain to the elders, the community, and those who may not be following the show that this is what has happened. This is how it affects us. How can we correct it? Don't push yourself. Nobody should get away. We can do an addendum to that article. It can be withdrawn and reincorporated with the new breed of people and make whatever corrections. Because it's strange to me. Imagine at my level of reading, and I never thought there's an article that was in hiding.
Yeah.
I never thought about it.
Yeah.
Because in my mind, I've been thinking, where are the incorporators? Who are those?
Yeah.
That filed the document with the state.
Yeah.
What did they say? How did they perceive the organization? So it affects us. We are not going to walk away from it. None of you guys should walk away from it. Let the leadership know that, hey, this is the issue. Thank God you guys went to court and made us to understand that this is the dubiosity we've existed in.
Yeah.
But we got to correct it.
That's true.
Yeah, we have to correct it.
Thank you so much, Mr. Kofa.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. And Mr. Kofa, before you leave, you want to talk something about Liberians getting involved with the electoral process in the United States?
Oh, yeah. I think I discussed it with you the other day.
Yes, and I talk about it. So say you want to just want you to just re-echo that to the Liberians who live here.
It means a lot to us. We can't come to America yearning for American citizenship and don't know the responsibility of that citizenship. We are impacted with any decision that comes out politically. We can't be backbenchers. There are so many Liberians in the community who have obtained American citizenship. What are we doing with it? Yeah. Are we part of the electoral process? Or we just sit back and allow any decision to be made and we complain like in our Liberian way? Please, mobilize as many people as you can. We have to be a part of the process. Let us boast to the Liberians in other states. They are part of it. That's what it means to be an American citizen. You participate in the electoral process. You have a hand in who leads. That's how we start to be conscious about our own selves and the society we find ourselves in.
Yep.
So let's see what we can do about it.
Thank you so much, Mr. Kofa.
Yeah, is Carey still on there?
Yeah, Carey, stay on. He's hearing you. He'll
Yes, sir.
Mr.
Kofa.
Chairman Begin, I've never doubted his courage. I believe he's one person who, if the entire community doesn't follow you, always go.
Yeah.
Go. And what you've brought up today has helped a lot. A lot of people who say, whoa, the devil is out.
Yeah.
And I want to thank him. I want to thank him so much, and also thank you for the platform.
Thank you so much, Mr. Kofa.
Thank you, Mr. Kofa.
Yeah.
All right, guys. So we have been here for more than 2 hours now, and I think everybody have shared their perspective on this lawsuit. As I stated from the beginning, this is a precedent case, and now, even though you lost, but we learn. That's the good thing. We learn, and going forward, at least Dr. Silly, Mr. Kofa, Jivon Smith, and the rest of the people who call want to say thank you. But going forward, like Mr. Kofa said, I'm one of those that ain't believing sweeping things on the raw. Because when I think I sweep on the raw, when you get too much there, it will start smelling in the room. I prefer to take it outside. Yeah, so I prefer to take it outside. So, much Mr. Parker and his lawyer, they quoted this identical constitution and they provided all their exhibits showing that the association have no membership. We would need that 2011 constitution to compare with what we have. If there's any way we can amend, we will amend. If we can set a committee to review, let's review and let's fix it and move forward. We ain't get no more time to be fighting because there's a very small community. And just to add to what my own dear big brother, Mr. Kofa, said, it is important to go to the polls in November and make a decision. So the best way to do that is to first register. If you are not a registered voter yet, you'll be able to participate in this election decision, in this American decision making. You are here now. Remember, you live here. You obtain the citizenship, and some of the benefits of the citizenship is to be able to vote in a federal election. So you can go sit at home, you get a citizenship, you say, Jetto, you say, for benefit. What kind of benefit you want? Food stamp? Go and vote. Go and make decision. Go and decide who become your next lawmaker. Go and make decision who become your next president. Whatever. Listen, if I get my mom back to the wall, why people here were caught in Sierra Leone? Because they say the power is in your hand. Now that vote they're talking about, that one vote, where you say I'm taking in my one vote. Now your one vote can make somebody to become the next president or the next senator or the next governor or the next whatever. So please don't sit down in the hall and say that the American people think. If I only you see my citizenship to get food stamp, my social security benefit, go and vote. It's important. All right. Mr. Carey, Jeremiah, if nothing else, let Mr. Carey do a parting. But Mr. Carey, if you get anything to say other than that, you can say it. But before you go, I think I want to ask this last question. I've been keeping this last question This is my last question. Is right on the screen here. Is there anything you regret, or will you do differently?
Pertaining to the lawsuit,
Pertaining the lawsuit.
I don't regret filing the lawsuit. And if I have to do it again, I will do it.
Thank you for that.
Because the lawsuit, if I close the lawsuit, I expose, I put the light into the darkness. Maybe I'm the new light in Indiana, as the name is called the light.
The light.
The case was dismissed, but I'm proud. I took the bold step.
Sorry about that. Before you answer, let's just answer Mr. Lami Sayon question quick before you can leave. He said, sorry for this. What you say? Sorry if this has been addressed, but I would like to know if LAI is legally registered as non-for-profit organization. If so, has it been benefiting from the privileges associated with that starter? Can the organization obtain a report on the usage of the privilege from state authorities? That's Mr. Sion, but that one can be for you at this point. Yeah. All right, go ahead. We just want to.
The case was dismissed. The case didn't go to trial. So when the case was dismissed, I heard how Yan went on open table was saying things. Oh, Mr. Parker, I've been vindicated. We didn't go to trial. The case was dismissed because what we have been in the dark, we have been deceived for so many years. The deception and the case are exposed. What have been done that we are all not members of the association. Maybe we are shareholders. Somebody was saying that we all get shares. We are paid dues. So nobody should be referring to their friend, be insulting a friend. You are not member. You don't come to meeting. We are all not members. So I think the wrong have been exposed, and those who are responsible should take responsibility, apologize to the community that they are deceived them, and we should all sit down and find a way forward. As Mr. Benedict Cooper said, we should not let this to go under the rug. We should identify those that did this, and they should come out and apologize to the community what they have done to the community, because this is fraud. They are deceiving us. They are taking our money on a fraudulent level. So I just like to say thanks to the viewers, thanks to you, Mr. Logan, thanks to Dr. Sele for this show. At least we are educated people on this lawsuit and what the lawsuit brought up. And I hope those who are listening and those who will listen to the show later will learn a whole lot from it. And those in leadership will now start to rebrand. And I'm hoping that the administration will not put up any flyer asking people to pay dues, because the people are already being defrauded, taking their money and referring them not members. So they should put a heart to collecting dues and see how the mistake can be corrected. But before the mistake is corrected, those who are responsible have to take responsibility and apologize to the people before we correct the mistake. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Mr. Robert C. Carey. So we look forward to seeing you again. Thank you. So Mr. Sele, we had quite a very good conversation today. And Mr. Carey being here as the guest, you know how we're going to be. You and I talk about it today. And I told you it was going to be an eye-opening to the community. Trust me, it was going to be an eye-opening. And now on this show, Mr. Carey broke a news, and I don't know if a lot of people heard that, but wait in due time to see if that's going to come to fruition, because Mr. Carey said, yeah, that was a breaking news, because Mr. Carey said in a few days from now, he's going to turn in his resignation. I don't know if you heard that. Dr. G.
Yeah, to be real, I was very shocked. What my mind is everywhere in Philip, sadly. What our society don't like good people. That's what I think.
Yeah.
Man, you can get a good heart, you can get a pure heart, man. Our people don't take you seriously. They don't want you.
It's true.
I'm telling you, working with Liberians, being a Liberian, having a Liberian background is not regrettable, but it's hard. Every time you want to be the best version, you are the one the most hated human being.
And I want to ask you. I want to ask you that question. I want to ask you, why is it whenever people try to speak about the right things, then other people think that you're being evil, you're being divisive. I don't know.
It's a man's. This is how I see it. And Philip, I don't get carried away by how people feel about me anymore. So I leave it. It's when you build over time, when you build with circumstances and conditions, you don't care about people anymore.
It's true.
You care about legacy and leave the earth. Because nature goes against good men.
It's true.
It's a tendency that we have. That tendency is deeply embedded in every fabric of our society.
Like a Stockholm syndrome.
Yes. If it's not me, it should not be Philip. If even Philip is doing all against his all to be the best and bring out the best, you will have more people come against and for Philip. So Philip cannot get what he wants, or Philip cannot be the brat lad. You see, for Carey issues, I just think that somebody in this community had to be legal. The reason I use the word legal is that people fought for this area in 2011. People went to meetings, slap each other.
Currently,
Yeah.
families have been teared apart. Friends can't even say hello to each other because of this election thing.
Exactly. People use rhetorics, including myself back then. Some people took this association to Prophet Key. Somebody has to be legal and intentionally legal. And Carey did that. Carey didn't do it for himself. He did it for other people who were confused about the state of this organization.
And that's
nobody
commendable.
sees it that way. You know what people see it about? People see it about politics. If I support Philip, I would never. If you support Carey, I would never support you if you put your hand up for leadership in this committee because you support Philip or Carey. Carey is a bad man. He sue us.
Yeah,
it's a developmental mindset. It's a mindset that, look, I'm not satisfied. I'm not even satisfied with how the board address the issue. But this is how I'm about to go about it. I want all legal aspect to be addressed about our organization. How is it that bad?
Yeah.
That you will scandalize this man, you will marginalize him to the level where this administration did it. And they do it to the extent that anybody who had an opinion towards this case was also labeled by human being. But I think getting this result, as you said, feeling like Carey lost, he didn't lose. The community lost. The community lost. It's not Carey that lost. They say they chew all the case. There's somebody running Carey lost, Carey this, Carey that. How do you read? Do you read your own book upside down? Carey did not lose. We as a community lost because you hated me for the thing I said about LAR, and now you seeing yourself like you have been fool, I have been fool. So what the need we've been going out here against each other families and stuff. And then somebody in a fair dose of common sense or wisdom will say, look, let's preach unity and come together. But like people said, the young people should come together and unify. If we the young people have to unify, it has to be intentional. It don't have to be on fake.
Yeah.
It has to be intentional that we want to unify. They don't have to be on hate. Somebody say, let's reconcile, let's unify. There's somebody sitting down there with different intention. Now, when it's Jeremiah today, I will put everything on my neck that he should not get it. That's how we live. Carey did nothing to this community. I can walk both faces in a community. Carey did nothing to us. Carey only exposed the evil. Because what they say is that the details are in the letters. Keep reading
True.
the details. Don't just scan over it. We saw the details. And we will have to unite as a young people. We have to be intentional about unity.
It's true. And this are opening the floor for different discussions.
A different discussion.
Yeah.
You know, this, let me tell you one thing, Philip. When people were here back then, everything was one man. Let Carey to him. Let Carey to him. Let him read this. Let him support. Let him do this. When other people started coming in the limelight of acquiring educations, trying to be sophisticated and start asking questions, we start having local media in our community. We start having churches in the community. Exposure start coming to Indiana. Then people start getting intimidated.
Yeah.
Because they are not no more the center of attention.
It's true.
People start having issues with you.
And you know, every individual want power.
Everybody want power.
Yeah.
That's why certain people don't leave the corridor of OER. If they not this, the this. If not this, the this. If not this, the this. They will not give other people a chance.
But then, Jeremiah, I have a question though. My question is, if those serving or those who serve in the past or those who wrote this constitution, they know very well that there's a provision within this constitution, as we have been posting on this screen here, that says, according to the amended article adopted on May 10th, and they have this constitution, they use it as their reliance to take themselves from this identical case. Then how can they allow us to spend all their money here to a lawyer?
You know, and that's what the issue. And that I blame the leadership, Philip. When this case started to escalate, we spoke to the leadership directly to the office of the president. One time in my gathering, I said it to the president after a meeting. I called Carey, sit around the round table and discuss the issue. But the people man were made up. Look, let me tell you, man. When people are against you, they will say anything about you.
Philip.
When anything, even the good, they will not see it. The present board member referred to me as I don't know how to speak good English. Only because I was supporting Carey. The sitting board chairman, Mr. Kamo. He referred to me as that because I am not on his side today. But what the very same Kamo, when he was running for Secretary General, I was his campaign chairman with him and Bala. At that time, I was a good man. And you see how deception and people can flip. But today, when I told Carey on this issue, I was a bad person. My English was not good. I say I'm studying PhD, but I don't know how to speak good. I'm a Liberian. I ate solo growing up. So if you think I come and speak serious to you, hell no.
Yeah.
But I know what in my brain. So what I'm saying is our people have that tendency, they're on a thief. They will support their thief.
Yeah.
It was anything that you want to preach, to be honest about it, they don't want it. They will support who they want to support because their mind are made up. They will twist it to suit their comfort. The leadership should take notice of this when some of us reach out to the president and say, call Carey around the table, you discuss this. Sicko fans were there and they were shouting. We will spend the money we have to spend. All of us money have been spent. But at the end of the day, Carey, if I was Carey, I would now be sheep. I will work bold in this community because I expose a lot of things in a short period of time. Short period of time. People today are telling Carey you should have taken a different approach. But how many people call Carey in a place and say, my son, this is my advice. Everybody thought Carey was a bad man. Just how people are very good at labeling people. They label this guy as a bad guy. He's not good because he sued this association where some people take to be their birth baby. Today, guess what happened? You are not a member. I am not a member. Carey is not a member. Even Mr. Parker adapt his membership with the association.
It's true.
So why are you getting invested with another person, my brother? Why? Why we are so hateful of each other so much for the little things? I can't understand it. Carey did not jump, and that's the reason I don't have problem with him. He never jumped the gun. He went to the board for redress. And the board said, Carey, you leave from here, you go anywhere, you are not going to have your will. He said, let me test the system. He tested the system, and this is why we got today as a community. My professor, and then they said, don't take a sabbatical. But Ben, by the way, he taught me in school. Then they Kofa was my teacher. He taught me math. But what I can tell him is, at some point in your life,
Yeah, you got to take a sabbatical.
you have to push and you have to leave.
Yeah.
Some of our are like the camel among the young people. We push the young people, we can do this, we can do this. But the very same young people, once they see you close, that they will hold you down and bring you down. Let new young people come and have the face of this community. They name like Jeremiah, Philip, and other people. Let's give chance to other new ideas. I'm not that old, but at least I played the game. From 2010, I played the game. For at least 14 years, among the young people, I played the game. Let me leave. That's why I take.
You're right. You're right too. The old people can say you should know when to leave the stage.
But I have a more difficult task and responsibility now.
Now you gotta go. You gotta go
Philip,
international
man,
as well.
at my age, man, people who serve in Liberian government are never better than me.
No.
Instead of me wasting my time and somebody just insulting me, fighting to bring me down, I have to go to a country. Liberia needs me.
It's true.
That's where I came from. That's the last place I can give.
It's true.
Back. So
for your profession, what you did in school,
exactly,
you are very much important to the country.
Yeah, I have to exit. By the way, my big brother Dubai Young got appointed, and him I second text in Liberia. He even asked me, so I have some people that I can reach out to, but at this time, I have to go. My country is my focus.
You're right.
This community,
right.
I don't want to say, but people who did that documentation, they fail us. They misled us. It is sad. It is bogus for few people to take an entire community to be a novice.
But Jeremiah, let's also too. Let me just be talking. Let me screenshot the document and put it on the screen, because every president who comes to power, you have the right to go and do similar amendment. Because Casa Dene did this here, and he filed this on behalf of the Liberian Association of Indiana. He filed on May 23rd, 2011. It was 4-page document. So the title of the document here, he said it was amendment. Yeah. So it means whoever person comes to power is supposed to receive all of these documents too and follow up. If there were new amendment done, you're supposed to carry it when that amendment was adopted. So it means everybody else who comes to power, they just come to power and just start running and forget about legal documents.
And what happened is, Philip, I talked the issue of competency. Philip, if you're competent enough and you take office, you will sit down and analyze documents from previous regime, and you will put stuff on the file, and you will have a set agenda. Over the years, with I haven't seen that for no leadership.
The big brother there.
I concur with him. I concur with him. You know the reason why? I concur with his statement only because even this administration knew certain things they kept it away from the public.
Let's just read it for my Oma, because my Oma can't read that thing up on the screen. The people sorry, my people. The people said maybe the community should consider filing an injunction against the administration until the issue is resolved, especially the collection and disbursement of funds. So, the man saying the community should kind of get a file or code people that can stop the association from using the money until we discuss the thing we're discussing here and finalize if we use any dollar from the association again. Go ahead, Jeremiah. My man watching it on TV too.
Are we going to file as a member or as a shareholder? So this is very sensitive.
It's sensitive.
It's very sensitive. But what he's saying is true, because I don't want to say I support lawsuit. But even this administration was deceptive over some of the things that were going on. They knew some things, and they were not going to tell the assembly, but they were still collecting money from the people.
But you know, Jeremiah, the reason why the people can say lawyer will not go heaven, the same lawyer that they use. You know, you can go to the same lawyer for legal consulting and get you legal consulting too.
Yeah,
They
yeah,
tell you how you
yeah.
can sue.
Yeah. So it's normal for them. That's a profession.
That's their
That's a
profession.
profession.
Now how they
Yeah.
can pay that rent?
That
So
they can pay the rent. Yeah. So they are very tricky kind of people. They use the very same English word against you two,
But
3 times.
the first thing said when I'm looking at it, see the whole document right here. I think I need a screenshot and put it on the screen. The document is so simple. They provide an official copy with the Secretary of State of this amendment. Oh. Ain't looking at the one what we've been doing, even Rufus time, where we go, who I agree, yeah, they will tell I won't carry it home. No, they filed an off. Let me be talking. Let me put it on the screen right now for you.
And what is surprising is that this happened since 2011.
Yes.
And nobody, those that were part of the filing of this, could not come out to expose this as a corrective measure, right? So it tells you that people are in cahoot. Few people are in cahoot. And their intention is to keep majority of the people or the resident in the loop.
Yeah.
So you are here running around claiming you have an association. And most time when we sit on show, we need to protect the organization for the future of our children. You do not even have a future with the association. How do you keep the future of the organization for your children when you yourself don't have a future yet? So we have an obligation as a people.
Yeah.
And our obligation is to settle the matter. For me, what I think is two alternatives. Either this leadership spend the rest of their time in power now, fixing this problem.
My called Jenna when he said spend the rest of the time. I thought he said so beach.
No. They have to spend the rest of the time in leadership, fixing this problem, or either we just dissolve the organization and start a new one. The Pastor Chris said. Two alternatives.
Yes.
Either they push to, if there's a way they can take all of those documents back, file a new one. But again, this administration is so lazy to the extent they can't even read constitution. They don't even have a constitutional committee. When do they have time to set a constitutional committee to fix all of these things? I always tell people, public service.
But
Going
this
into
should be an
public service.
eye-opening, Jeremiah. This should be an eye-opening for future leadership. Because if you come to power, review all the documents. Don't leave nothing out.
Brother, Philip, the issue of competency, let me tell you, in our Liberian society, our mentality about being a leader is for charade. Is to be called a name. Mr. VP, Mr. SG, Mr. President. That's our mentality about leadership. For me, I've always seen leadership to be something different. I've always seen leadership. That's why I don't take a position that I know.
Yeah.
I am not. Remember, I'm not boasting, but when I took the position of being an election commission, Philip, that was one of the Herculean things I ever done in life.
Oh, yes. Oh,
Philip, I was in school taking exams. At the same time, even on my anniversary, I was up 4 a.m. in the morning working on AI people. And guess what? I'm not trying to look down at my federal commissioner. But guess what? All of the bad lads were coming to Jeremiah City. But if you have this guy doing 90% of the job, man, everybody leave it on you. They head.
Yeah, I won't lie. I kept you busy.
Bro, that's my experience. That's how I get to know this community has
See,
large.
just a second. You see on the screen here? You see what the people did? They profiled an official copy. You see a certified copy of that amendment. I don't know if you can see it, Clark. I send it to your WhatsApp. They profiled a certified copy.
I'm reading it very clear.
Yes. You see that? Of the amendment. So when you go all the way down, you see what they're telling you clear. This document, it was amendment that they were doing to
May 23rd.
article of amendment. May 23rd, 2011, 4-page document.
I just getting to know this.
Yes. So let me show you who signed a document here. Let me post the other page here. This was the copy that the amendment, telling the court or telling the Secretary of State portion that will be a many on here, this is the amended version of it. Then it was signed by Mr. Casa Dennis. You see here? He was the president at the time.
And the mentality of one person signing every document is bad.
Yeah.
From finances
Yeah.
to submitting document, we should be having at least 3 signatories.
Yeah. And this document is supposed to be turned over to the president, the person who took power at the time, to say these are documents we have. But the first thing said, if you take over today, you're supposed to register yourself with the state. You have to go back to the document and include yourself on the leadership of the organization with the state.
Honestly, I think during having time, I don't know, I'm not sure, but I think it was done because when having took over, honestly, I was at IUPR one time in the general school. I still remember that thing. When having came for me to print any document, he and SYC and some person were going downtown to change their name on a documentation. I don't know if that was done, but I think he attempted doing that. I don't know how far he got with that. But the fact that we have a document 2011 that held us accountable.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we don't know about.
So even in 2011, and me by that time, Ivan was not even president yet.
Ivan was
so Ivan came to power. Ivan came to power, and he never noticed it. It passed. Rufus came to power.
This how you look at it. This how you look at it. Or J.D. Walker came to power before he came before Ivan. So J.D. Walker served 3 years. That wasn't handled. Ivan served 3 years. No notice.
And Rufus came.
Rufus came 3 years. No notice.
And Parker too.
And Mr. Parker came, and another 3 years was going to go when Carey decided to file a lawsuit. My question now.
So Mr. Parker noticed and agreed that, say I noticed, I would just go and blow it out. Or instead he said, well, can we have a conference and we have seen this year?
No, I can't doubt that Mr. Parker didn't know about it.
Because I didn't want to present this document to the lawyer.
Saying.
The lawyer don't have it.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. So I can't think for Mr. Parker, right? But as an analytical person, probably in the case he found out, or he was giving a legal advice by somebody saying, but then if that's the thing, there's a leeway for us.
Yeah.
So then it was when the surrogates started to come out and say, anything Carey do will win.
Yeah.
Because
he has no standing. He's not a member.
Yeah. So they had an intel that you and I never had.
You're right.
You know what I'm saying? But now what the president did to the community that were also deceptive is that after the case had been filed, we went to several meetings that was not on the agenda of the association. So every time we go to a meeting, you ask them, what kind of lawyer you're paying and how much you're paying and why you're paying this? They say we can't, according to the board chairman, we can't speak to the case because the case is in court.
Yeah.
So
funny move.
Yeah, but the board chairman said it in one of the meetings I attended that he can't speak to it because it's in court. And braggadociously, he was saying to us, we got this. So they knew everything that they were doing. It was calculated. It was intended to make other people to look minute. But on the other hand, I think they look minute now. They look like a decimal point.
It's not looking good.
It's not looking
good at all.
And with AR going forward, we all have to be careful. I mean, people can say, "Oh, Jeremiah, let us go on the show and talk." You can classify me because some of you want to talk beyond people. But I prefer to sit on the platform and give my analysis, and how you feel about me is not what the association is about.
Take your let me ask you just a short question before you can end at your point. So, meaning since Casa didn't left power, there has never been any amendment of the Constitution?
First of all, this is why you should know, right? Every 10 years, in any serious organization, by the way,
there should be a change.
Yeah,
there should be a change. Every decade, there should be a change, even in personal lives.
Exactly. In any serious organization, after 10 years, you revisit your constitution.
It's true.
Every 10 years. Any serious organization.
Yes.
Like I said, recently we revisited the Indiana Pharmaceutical Association bylaws, rules, and regulations. I'm on that committee.
Mm-hmm.
We have meeting every month now. But why am I saying this? Everything there's any serious organization.
Yeah, we'll revisit because
We'll
the condition
revisit.
that existed at the time, after
Yeah.
10 years, the population have grown, new things have come up, there will be some amendment, there will be some this. So yes, and even if they do amend portion of the constitution, I think they were not considering it as, since we have amended, they report it to the Secretary of State to be in archives. But they just see it as, they take it to a meeting, who are in favor, put your hand up, yeah, we get that one now. But not knowing if something come up, they go back to the one that's still in the archives, that
In
is
the
registered
archive.
with the state.
In the archive. But you know that constitution that I started reading during Rufus 30 time. That constitution was only being drafted for to enhance our medulla, that we are getting somewhere. It was not to fit us legally, because the true corporates already knew their workings. You gotta be able to think in people's mind.
It's true.
So it was out of charade. So every time it comes to completion, there's a roadblock. So that constitution never got drafted and written properly and accepted by some of the board members. But on the opposite arm, when this administration took over, our question was, why can't we go back to the constitution? Phil, by the way, I reached out to this administration, both the VP and the press, so I say I can help. But trust me, I now believe the reason why they never wanted to even think about constitution in their leadership for 3 years. There was a deep secret that was hidden under the sea by few people, few corporates. And then I asked myself, when we as a society and we as a people ever try to do something better, why it always has to be some kind of thing had to be in a hidden? Somebody have to be doing something because they have an intention or agenda. Somebody will not do something for it to benefit society. It will always have to be
before we know about it.
Before we know about it. Why? Why do we always have to be like this? Even living in a civilized society. Why should we always reduce ourselves to corruption and malpractices? Why? Why do we have to scheme about everything in life? Why? Why do we have to fix everything in life? Why? I ask myself. Why would it take you when you put honesty as your mantra? What would it? No, bro. We live in a world, in a society where the kids in this country can be honest to their parents and say, "I did this." But in our society, if you not lie and learn how to corrupt and scam people and become untruthful, you are not healed. You are not healed. The good men perish. The good men suffer in the hands of the bad men.
Wow. The good men suffer in the hands of the bad men. That's the words of Mr. Jeremiah K. Dr. J. Jeremiah, we're already gone. It's 9:20. Just give us your parting so we can run out of here.
So Phil,
I see my daughter is just fanning around now. Daddy, bedtime spirit.
Yeah, she ready. She ready. No, her whole thing is she get a project now. I had to help her to do. So, but the thing is, Phil, I want to say thank you very much to the listening audience. Thank you for bringing me on. You know, I've been a little bit after my program. I've never been in no public gathering.
Yeah,
you know, I've been having some rest.
And the old time when you come by exercise your boom, that exercise good for you too. Put everything down. Let's go practice Saturday. I will do for you.
Man, don't give me hard time. Old time, the old time bringing our politics there.
Okay, that way. We'll talk about our different time.
Okay, they're bringing our behavior there, so I don't want to get to do all that kind of thing. You know me, I can't shy away from problem. I see people attitude. I just, you know, I don't got to do all that thing. I don't got to do a children play. But let me tell you one thing, Phil. Don't focus on the program for today because I want a different day.
Okay, so, different day.
so my brother, I want to say thank you to the listening audience. You know, coming on the show was a privilege again once more. It's a medium that is objective. Can allow disagree with you so many times. But when I text you, I say, brother, I want to come on the show. I'm giving the opportunity to express myself,
Yeah.
and we cannot monopolize the discussions. Secondly, I want to tell Mr. Carey that it is not something that we are happy about, that he will have to work their way, because the scary thing is that people who are competent, people who have the desire to serve,
Yeah.
people who really want to serve this community, people who want to express their ability through leadership, tend to, you know, stay away because of our proceedings, our perceptions, and how we demonize each other.
Yeah.
So it's a tough thing for Mr. Carey to be in, that people will see the truth, but if they're not on your side, they will never see something to say, I think though Carey did the wrong thing to sue, but this lawsuit was for the purpose to bring this to our notice, and how can we fix it? Some people stay in their mindset, things that Mr. Carey is absolutely wrong by
Yeah.
suing, and literally I would like to debunk that he was right. He has his right to ask for redress through the court if he's not
Yeah.
satisfied. And that's why we are in a country of democracy. We can always do things based on who know you, and let's have a behind the horse discussion. And tell it to the community. I want to say publicly, we all wrong each other.
Yeah.
To those of us that wrong other people for LAI, that had to use some harsh words to other people, we are sorry. We're not too big to say sorry. And to those that also wrong us, let's squash it and move forward. For me,
Yeah.
I take a sabbatical today. I announced that anything that discuss our business, it's not Jeremiah City business. Yes, I move past LAI. I move past this community. I've had a lot living here. I've expressed a lot. And honestly, if my wife could have let me leave, I would have left this state. Yes, but my wife and her family think that I should still stay here. But I have a lot living here. And this is the time that I focus on my professional and my family growth and leave these people think.
Yeah.
It can only be our thing when everybody is inclusive, that our opinions are accepted. You cannot fight for something that is not yours. You cannot beat your chest on something that is not yours. We all have made fool of ourselves, and now today the truth corporates and conduits of the LAI, they are showing their hands. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for the show. Thanks to Mr. Carey. Thanks to Mr. Logan for having me on. And this issue can be discussed year in, year out. By the end of the day, Philip, let's find the opportunity and move forward.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mr. Jeremiah Sele. So that was the voice of my brother and friend, Mr. Jeremiah Sele. And I want to also use this time to say a very big thank you to Mr. Robert C. Carey for at least having the courage to come up here and say his own truth. And as I stated, I reached out to Mr. Parker. I also reached out to Mr. Inisha George. I will also do a follow-up with Mr. Inisha George to know if he will have the time to appear to say his own. And Mr. Parker already said to me that he have no interest discussing this. It's frivolous, and he have better things to think about. So those of you who follow us, the public can be the judge. Remember, popular opinion is one of those quotes that to get away from is very hard because everybody have their own opinion. But whatever the situation may be, Liberia first, Liberia second, Liberia last. And the Liberian community matters, and all those who live in the Liberian community. And just in passing, before we can leave from here, St. Francis Alumni Association of in the diaspora, they're having an annual convention. So their turnout is Friday, October 18, 2024. It's the meet and greet. Saturday, October 19, 2024. That's they're having a regular meeting. That will be 10 a.m. Then hold on. Let me hear what Jeremiah was saying. Oh, you want to ask a question right now?
your number, so I'm gonna ask you. You say his question is who amended the Constitution?
Oh, but Jerry, you on the screen live also. Now about that question that you should be answering, because it's right here. This is it, and it was done by Mr. Casa Dennis. His name is on the last paperwork here, Casa M. Dennis.
Okay, I think that's what the paper wanted to know.
Yeah, Casa M. Dennis is right there. President. He signed as president. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So this is the document. When they file it to the state, they file on what is it? May. They file in May 2011. Yeah.
All the paper wanted to know. He wanted to know who amended the Constitution. I don't think he was filing. So.
Oh, okay. All right, brother. All right. Good night. All right, so everybody, it's time to go. It's time to go. It's time to go. Thank you for being here, and don't forget, been sitting in this seat for more than 2 hours plus. And my name is Philip. So you guys Agosti will tell Logan tonight. I was your presenter here, followed by my brother Jeremiah Sele, who came in to co-host this program to do to ask questions. And Mr. Carey did extremely well by having the courage to answer most of our questions we had here tonight. And Mr. Carey wants to say thank you. And to all of those who called Mr. Dr. Pastor Christopher Falafaya. Yeah, I like that. Gives me a little pronounce it. Dr. Pastor Dr. Christopher Falafaya. I want to say thank you for calling. He calls from all the way there. I think, Texas or California? One of them. I don't know. So I just guessing. So Texas, California. Anyway, I would think about it. But I know the state that the father in, but I can't remember right now. So nobody must say, oh, you know where your own pastor is. All right. And Dr. Slay, Jevon Smith, and all of you, Mr. Lami Sayan, all of you who commented on here, will just flash the comment. We will not be having the time to read all of the comments. We want to say thank you for commenting as well. And thank you so much for commenting, my brother. Stephen Caller and everybody else. So we want to say thank you so much. We are about to take our leave until we meet again. We want to say thanks to everyone who commented on the program here today, and we look forward to seeing you again on Tuesday on the Logan's Hour. Come back on Tuesday, because probably Tuesday we have some powerful guests who will be here to talk about some of the issues around our community. So we want to say thanks to everyone, and it was a beautiful show. And trust me, it's always a pleasing pleasure for me to be here serving you. Because of you, I'm here. So I want to say goodbye, and don't forget to lock your door. Remember to tell someone you love them, because the life you have is precious, and there's no guarantee that you're going to wake up tomorrow morning. So somebody haven't seen for a little while, call them, say, hey, what's up? I've been thinking about you. So at least tomorrow you can say, at least I said my last word before I can leave this earth. Until we meet again, I want to say thank you and good night.